This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
Hello and welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. My name is TJ.
And my name is Bryce.
And we're coming at you from where? The place you have to assume.
Probably Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington.
I have to think so. You can also check out the website at geekfortressgames.com. But we have got a lot of fun coming at you tonight.
I do want to say, Glorious Visionary, I appreciate you taking a break from Mass Effect just for us. That means a lot to me.
It does, in fact, and I actually just recently downloaded the first Mass Effect as well as the second Mass Effect.
Ooh.
I've been kind of jamming through that a little bit. It is good times indeed. Also, a big thank you to whoever anonymously donated some pizzas to the store. The players are wildly appreciative as they enjoy some pizza.
They're very happy
as
to
they
have
prepare for some modern.
Boom. Let's see who we got in here. The Jackal Pup, Glorious Visionary, Jay Dags, Miffy, and Melvin so far. Thanks for checking in. Good to see all of you.
It is such an absolute pleasure to be able to do this stream with all of you. As always, remember that questions, comments, feedback, all that fun stuff, interacting with all of you is why we do this and why we love to do it. So always feel free to be a part of this stream with your words.
You look on stream on camera. Fine, you know, stream.
Thanks, Patrick. I'll go get our match.
Oh, goodness. But welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. It's a pleasure having you here. Hope everyone's Wednesday/Thursday, if you're in Australia, is going well. In the meantime, enjoy some pizza if you can find some, and have a good time.
All right. So, facing the wall's Peter.
Ooh. Always a crowd favorite, Peter.
Indeed.
Okay.
And he's up against Logan. You don't even have to change anything
Interesting. Okay.
from that side.
What's up, Anthe? It's good to see you. No, the round is off there. So Peter's on his usual deck,
He's
I assume.
on the usual Jund.
Alright, so Jund versus Black-White Deathcloud in the hands of Logan. Do you have any thoughts on how this matchup's gonna go?
I honestly don't know. I think that it might be favored for Logan.
I'm actually gonna say something similar. I think I'm gonna give it to Logan. Deathcloud, very, very good against the mid-ranger strategies, which don't apply enough pressure.
It deals damage to the player, doesn't it?
It is a smallpox for X.
But does it deal damage or do they lose
Life
life?
loss.
Okay, so it doesn't get planeswalkers in that effect.
No.
Unless they have enough
Planeswalkers
to
are
make them sack
potent.
permanents.
Logan is running his own Planeswalkers, and Logan's a Lingering Souls deck at his heart.
Okay. Which is always good against Jund.
Exactly. So if we see something like turn 2 Signet into a turn 4, I mean, he's actually running some Smallpox, especially today.
Mm-hmm.
He could be very disruptive to this deck. And I mean, Peter's removal is all but dead in this matchup, and I think that's going to be pretty significant.
Yep. Logan said that he and Peter came in on Monday and played this matchup like 5-6 times straight.
And I'm guessing Logan won at least 5?
He didn't tell me,
Okay.
but
Probably decently favored.
yeah.
Alright, we'll have to find out for ourselves. I guess no revealing those secrets. Let's see if Peter can, as he does so often, thank you so much, I'll get to that in a moment, fight through the usual odds that we've seen him beat Tron. Can he beat Deathcloud?
Deathcloud.
Let's find out for ourselves. We'll see you there.
Oh, look, they're playing.
Alright, and apparently they're already underway. There's a Dark Confidant on the battlefield, both players at 20. Logan went turn 2 Orzhov Signet after
like
turn 1 Fatal Push getting taken by Peter's Inquisition.
Yep.
Now, it looks like Logan was on the play,
Lingering Souls.
and he's going to drop down a Lingering Souls. He's got 4 mana available because of the Signet. That's his turn 3 play, going with a tapped Godless Shrine to keep his life total high. Peter, shocking, down to 18. I don't know why. Actually. Oh, he just took a card off of Dark Confidant, that's why.
Okay. I was like, huh?
Okay. So
Tap land and pass.
by the way, hi Hoon, it's good to see you. Moonsand, thank you so much for the sub. It's a pleasure having you here. Thank you for your continued support. We're using the brand new mic setup that your subs helped us buy. We're also looking at some super sweet new tables and a lot of other improvements. Gideon coming down.
Uh-oh.
The anti-Jund All-Stars.
And just ults right away.
And we've got an attack for 4.
And terminate one of them.
Terminate feels pretty bad to hit a token with, though.
Well, now they're credible threats. They're 2/2 flyers.
Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that Peter's
Yeah,
gonna feel
it doesn't make it feel any better.
Of course, he takes no damage off of this Dark Confidant. Peter's bobs are
Classic
legendary
Peter.
for this. They're phenomenal.
Classic
at this.
Peter Bob.
Classic Peter Bob. All right.
Another Inquisition gets nothing. So we'll see Elspeth coming down next turn.
Elspeth, Sun's
So
champion.
Peter's just dead.
With a land and an Elspeth in hand, could that have been any worse of a Lingering Souls?
You mean Inquisition of Kozilek?
Yes. Could that have been any worse?
I don't think that it could be, because now Logan just goes land Elspeth. Unless
Make
Peter
3
Peter
2/2s?
could make the play of Abrupt Decay or Orzhov Signet.
I mean, it's like you have to,
Yeah.
but you're still.
not?
That just means that Logan's going to spend his turn flashing back this Lingering Souls.
New font? Where?
Oh goodness! I think they were talking about Peter Bob.
Oh.
I don't know. But an attack for 2, flashback Lingering Souls, and next turn you've got the play lined up again.
As long as you have the land, you get to
He drew the
draw.
planes.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he
so
drew the
Peter
planes.
really needs a Thoughtseize. That's not a Thoughtseize.
No.
Is this a Thoughtseize?
Would you even fire one off knowing... Actually, yeah, because you know the
I
Elspeth.
would cast Thoughtseize to take the Elspeth.
I probably would too.
Because I don't think that you can win otherwise.
I don't think you can beat the Lingering Souls right now, though.
You can.
Jun
Lingering
Charm?
Souls is going to be very tough.
It has
Jun
to be just
Charm is
one
the way
with
to do
Jun
it.
Charm.
Maelstrom Pulse is also a fine way to handle it.
True.
Um,
Logan happily
but
trading
if
off
he
a
does
spirit.
not have Thoughtseize, then this Elspeth's just going to take over the game.
Yes, and I don't think it'll be particularly close. In fact, we were actually having a conversation the other day, which I think led to this being in the deck. We were talking about Elspeth Sun's Champion in the context of Modern. And the basic consensus that we came to was that this card, the only reason this card is not played more in Modern is because most decks can't play it, like survive to play it.
Yeah.
But any deck that can,
Ooh, Liliana's actually great, because he'll either have to discard the land or the Elspeth.
I think I go with the land.
You discard the land and hope to draw another land.
There's a lot more
But
lands
if
than
Logan
Elspeths.
does not hit that land,
It gets a lot worse.
this could be good for Peter.
He still does. He is going to be killing the Liliana though.
Yeah, the Liliana's still going to die unless Peter's got like a bolt to take out one of the Lingering
He
Souls.
actually does.
Is it a land? It's not a land, it's a Raven's Crime. It's not great here.
I have seen him keep hands that are Raven's Crime and 6
there's
lands on more than one occasion.
Yeah, but it's not good against Liliana in play that's already planning on ticking up.
True.
What do we think of the Fruity Pebbles deck? I don't know. I saw it
I was streaming
at
it
one
with
point, but
Boot.
I didn't actually see what the deck is.
I was streaming it with
I saw the
Boot.
name,
The
that's
new
all.
version of it uses the Enduring Renewal. After you resolve that with a Hangerback, you keep a Hangerback Walker or a Walking Ballista in hand, and then you use either the Alter the Brood or the 2-mana enchantment that deals 1 damage to just cycle them through. Because Enduring Renewal, you can't. If you would draw a card, you can't draw a creature. You draw a non-creature, but if you already have one in hand, anytime a creature goes to your graveyard, you put it back in your hand. So you just recycle it to get all the ETBs.
Alright, Peter just going to deploy a Bob and a Scavenging Ooze, and Logan still has not drawn the land for Elspeth, so
No, he
This-
does have a Fatal Push.
he has Fatal Push, but if he Fatal Pushes, then Liliana takes up and takes away the Elspeth.
It's true.
So that's something to heavily consider as Logan is this Scavenging Ooze or Dark Confidant worth Fatal Pushing and also losing my Elspeth?
Also, keep in mind that a Death Cloud off the top, only Death Cloud's for 2, while that does answer Peter's board, it does not cut him off of land. I think Peter might be overcoming the odds in this
Yeah,
game.
he may have turned the corner, especially with the fact that the next turn he's going to be able to activate Raging Ravine, attack for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and really get Logan on a decently fast clock.
Definitely put him on the back foot. The big issue is that the land changes everything.
And
Or you can use
attack and
Ornithopter Midnight,
pass.
Blasting Grinding Station.
Oh, well, there's
with Enduring
Thoughtseize.
Renewal. Yes, you can, Jacopup.
Wasteland Carl.
Carl, thank you for the
Thanks
sub.
for the
Hello
sub.
to you. Welcome back. It's awesome having you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. The Jacopup, I do know of that version. I like the other version more, but the one with all the artifacts just strikes me like Stony Silence is actually just dead against the newer version of it. And it looks like he's willing to lose the Elspeth for this because it is going to
Yep.
get taken anyway.
Well, it was going to get taken either way, so now he's going to be able to Fatal Push, get that out of the way.
the Liliana loses some value.
Liliana, I think Peter has a Tarmogoyf, so I would guess he deploys that and pluses the Lily.
Probably.
He's going to gain a life up to 12 by eating his own Dark Confidant first, though.
Carl, thank you so much for the support. I'm going to use that to buy us a new table to stream on.
Boom.
I'm also we still are waiting for the auction to go through. That's going to let us buy the new computer at like a hugely reduced cost.
Okay.
We've got an auction that is coming up. We don't know the exact date of it yet. We're investigating.
Ooh, Orzhov's Signet is the draw, but in the draw step, Peter goes ahead in Kolaghan's command, killing the token and making Logan discard that Orzhov Signet.
Brutal.
This is looking very good for Peter now.
I don't think that Logan has a whole lot of capacity to win. Unless he's running another Elsbeth in there, but actually he can't even cast it because he lost that Orzhov Signet. There's very little that's going to have a huge impact on this game. Even a Lingering Souls is starting to look like it's actually not even going to be super effective against this.
I mean,
Scavenging Ooze.
it deploys 4 2/2 flyers.
Logan has to play it and flash it back immediately, though.
He has 5 lands,
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's just what he would do, I think.
Especially with top deck mode.
In top deck mode, you play it and flash it back.
Can't get cute and try and save it over a couple of turns, though. And I'll be curious, because if Peter happens to be... Looks like he's not hoarding a Maelstrom Pulse in hand, but the card would not be bad. It has a little contingency plan. But until then, I don't feel bad because I've got a Raging Ravine, a Liliana, and a Scavenging Ooze. Right now, the world is my oyster if I'm Peter. I think Peter is taking this game, and I didn't really expect him to.
I have no idea what they're trying to figure out right now, though.
Neither do I. They might be trying to figure out... Oh, with the mana, could he cast the Kolaghan's Command, potentially? You don't play it and then it gets scoozed, because he still has priority. Like, the spell resolves,
he still
it's
has
in the
priority.
graveyard. He can cast it before the Scavenging Ooze would take it. So, as long as he maintains his priority and does it in the same phase, he would be able to cast both halves.
Alright, here's an attack for 8.
That's sizable. We're
down to 7. And Peter at 13. This is looking very bad for Logan. Draws a land, and that
Hey,
is
but he
game
did
1.
get that 6th land.
Nailed it.
So, small victories for Logan. Alright, so we are going to see a game 2 here. Peter.
Alright, well, looks...
What a way to go. Beat a Gideon, Lingering
Gideon,
Souls,
a
and an
Lingering
Elspeth.
Souls. Elspeth didn't hit the table.
True.
If Elspeth had hit the table, I think that game goes much better for Logan.
But he navigated it well.
Yes.
He navigated his
the game
options
very
quite
well. I'm interested in the fact that Logan is not bringing in his Obnixilis. Obnixilis seems like exactly what you want against a mid-range deck.
I think that is his list of bringing in.
No. There's Obnixilis, and now he's bringing it in. Instead of the Sorin, I think Sorin is fine too.
I think you... Well, it depends. Like, the deck has very few slots to
What
cut.
is the card at the back? The black card.
Very few slots to cut.
Is it a Cremate? Cremate doesn't seem
No,
like it's
that
like
is
this.
that is actually a particularly interesting card. That is
That one. The
that
black card
is hold on, I can't remember the name of it right now, but you'll know it.
there. Are you sure it's not Cremate?
It's black 2 mana to go find it's the Queen Una the tutor.
Oh, Beseech the Queen?
Yes, it's Beseech the Queen. What's Logan's win condition for this deck? Planeswalkers and creature lands while you strip them of all their threats, their hand, and their life total using a giant death cloud.
Yep.
What's up, Tin Man? It's good to see you. Okay.
4-0 Modern Night on Monday. Nicely done. Eldrazi Taxes is a
Sweet
deck that
deck.
can do very well in several. In the correct meta, it does very well.
And in a format like Modern, in which
Okay, that is
every
Beseech the Queen.
every card is defined by their enter the battlefield ability, Eldrazi Displacer unanswered just completely crushes the competition.
Is it just me, or does Peter have the perfect combo of my deck?
No, he
mostly?
does.
And I'm really flipping good at playing my deck. He does. He definitely does.
He crushed a side event up in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
He top forward how many people were there?
It
It was
was-
like 9 rounds before the switch.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of players.
I think there was over 100. If
It was definitely over 100. I don't remember the exact number, but he won a bunch of boxes of Ether Revolt and didn't have the ability to take it all back with him.
I still have that.
I still
actually.
have that. I have that box, and then I have the 8 packs that we
Same.
randomly
I've
had
opened-
up there. Yeah, I
have
just
not
have a
opened
draft set ready
anything
to
from
go. I just have a draft set ready to go.
I have
so.
not opened a single pack from
So
up in Canada.
this Pro Tour, we'll draft some Ether Revolt and some Modern Masters 2017 because I have that box still.
Oh, there's a Pro Tour coming up.
Yeah.
5 weeks later, or 4 weeks, 3 weeks later than we expected. They moved the date of it back.
Not this Pro Tour.
Next one?
Yeah, the Pro Tour for
I thought Amonkhet. Amonkhet
is
has
at
5
land.
weeks.
No.
Oh. Is that land? Yeah, that's land.
I don't. It's Lazen. I don't remember which one it was.
I will tell you what. Of all the announcements today, one thing fascinates me more than anything else. Of all the changes, so you can say you
They
know
haven't released the ban restricted list yet.
no, though that's a completely different conversation.
Ixalan, thank you.
One thing boggles my mind. It is this: the fact that among all of this, everybody can take one singular word, and suddenly everybody has already built the world that we're going to.
That's true.
I am so impressed by the fact that people are like, Ixalan, huh? Well, check out this Mesoamerican planet with these features. And it's probably going to be this kind of storyline with a little bit of this distinguishing it.
I loved the Wizards in Play who was like, all of you guys who are guessing at what it is, I guarantee you it is not that.
It's like, it's one word, and you've all just like Khans of Tarkir. I get it.
Yeah,
Khans.
Ixalan was moved back, and they're going to have the World Championships the week after the release.
I know. We built it based off of the survey images, but that's completely different. Like, that's Azatlan.
Do you think the new Nissa Blue-Green Elves may come on to Modern? I don't think it'll be in Blue-Green Elves, but I do think it'll have a shot to do something in, like, Bant Eldrazi as kind of a value engine later on, those kinds of things. So I'm excited to see what that card does in Modern.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah. So a pre-game leyline from Logan. Shutting off the hand disruption is going to be big. He does play the turn 2 Orzhov Signet as well, in line with his game plan. Shocking this screams Dark Confidant or Abrupt Decay.
Dark Confidant.
Because I just don't think there was enough motivation for a 0-1 Tarmogoyf at that point. We've got 4 mana. We've got an Omnixilus next turn after a Fatal Push here.
Fatal Push, oof.
If he doesn't have the Leyline, or if he doesn't have a Liliana and plus it, he's just going to drop an Omnixilus and take this game over.
Yeah, Omnixilus is the exact way that Logan is going to be able to win this game.
Killing creatures.
Peter heading down to, looks like...
17?
He was at 17. He didn't get a second black source. This is not Liliana. So yeah, he is at 17.
Could be a Kolagon's Command.
It could be.
But, because you could get back your Dark Confidant
you can
and
just
take down the
Kolagon's
Signet.
Command, get back Confidant, destroy Signet, or you could make him discard.
You can't. Leyline.
True, that's true.
So I think those that might be the line.
Yeah,
if
it
I
could
have
be
nothing
just
else
destroy
between them.
Signet, get back Confidant. Looks
Or
like
it's-
that's not what it is. Looks like a Scavenging Ooze.
Okay, keeping up a green mana for his own Dark Confidant as well. So Logan's gonna crack that, and do you plus the Obnixilus or do you minus it to take
in
out
the
these two?
face of the Scavenging Ooze, plussing puts the Obnixilus up to 6, right?
Correct.
And then it gets, or does Obnixilus start at 4 and go up?
I believe it starts at 5.
Omnixilus are ignited. See, it
Yep.
starts at 5, goes up to 6. Okay, so it'll get attacked down to 3, and then you can still -3 to destroy the Scavenging Ooze.
I actually
but I
do
like
like the
starting
destroy.
on destroying the Scavenging Ooze.
This deck has no haste, and especially cannot be removed through damage.
Yeah, now it definitely cannot be moved
Because-
through like a Wayward Bolt or a Kolagon's Command.
Exactly, and I think that's what's going to motivate me to go for the minus ability now, because next turn I've got 1 card in hand now, and next turn I'll be getting another 2 additional cards, and I think that's probably fine to stop any progress that Peter's got available to him.
Yeah. Now, the most important thing for Peter right now is hitting his next land drop so that he can attack the Obnixilus down next turn with the Raging Ravine.
Agreed.
Because Raging Ravine and creature lands in general are very powerful against Planeswalkers. They're a good way to kind of keep them in check.
Creeping Tar Pit more than anything.
Creeping Tar Pit is fantastic.
That card was born to
Celestial
take kill
Colonnade
Jasons.
takes down Planeswalkers very well as well.
Definitely true. Definitely true. Tin Man, I've played a Squirrel Tribal. Oh wait, who is that? Glorious Visionary? I have played a Squirrel Tribal deck in Commander.
Do you think Vizier of the Menagerie makes it in any modern decks? I definitely think it does. I know Todd Stevens
Todd's-
was already working on putting it into the green-white deck that he's been
Todd's
playing.
hot after the heels
Oh
of
yeah,
that card.
he is looking to put that into all the decks. Ooh, Maelstrom Pulse.
Note
Okay.
that he doesn't care about the leyline.
Yep.
If he had a Lightning Bolt in hand, the easier play was to Maelstrom Pulse the
And then Bolt Obnixilus.
exactly.
So Logan played a really nice 5-mana removal spell that made Peter discard a card.
It's a lot better than if he had.
Solemn Simulacrum.
So the sad robot hitting the battlefield. He's gonna get a basic land out of this. Peter's just fetching a response. I think he's saying that. Oh, he's gonna do something before the fetch.
He wants to bolt it so that
Peter
Logan
might-
draws a card and might draw a basic.
I think Logan's got a ton of basics. I don't
Yeah.
think that'll be a problem.
No, looks like he's just fetching a tap land.
Okay. So he is gonna find a basic land here. Colonnade feels so bad in the push metagame.
Okay, Anthony.
Decently. Nice, Anthe. I dig it. What's up, to be named? It's good to see you. The Slaughterhorn. Actually, I do think the Slaughterhorn, any green beatdown deck that was running Reclamation Sage, is at least considering.
You
the
mean
new Slaughterhorn.
Manglehorn,
I
right?
do mean
Because
Manglehorn.
Slaughterhorn's the +3/+2 Blood Rush guy.
I do mean Manglehorn. The problem is that it doesn't hit enchantments, but that might be fine. It depends on what the deck's worried about.
You know what it's really good against? The Saheeli combo.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. The artifacts come into play tapped.
Yeah.
And all the copies are artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't go off.
I don't think many of these things are very good against the Saheeli combo.
It
I think the card's
completely
great
makes it so they
standard,
can't do it.
I mean, they don't win with the combo that often.
I mean, that's true, but it shuts down the combo, which is what I said.
It does. It's probably the best main boardable card because it also hits murder vehicles really hard. So, in the current meta, it's the most main deckable. I'll be curious to see what happens afterwards. But honestly, I would be quite surprised if that deck survived.
Oh, Elspeth.
Got there. So a Huntmaster from Peter answered by an
Oh,
Elspeth from
Elspeth.
Logan. Who do you think got the better deal there?
Elspeth is definitely the more powerful card.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure Huntmaster.
Just play more Saheeli
is a
combo in Modern.
werewolf.
I have the deck together, Doro.
I'm just saying that one of these two characters is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Just tossing that out.
You're correct. One of them is dead.
Big Bear, I am completely underwhelmed by Harsh Mentor in Modern. I think it's much more viable in Legacy, but I don't quite know where yet. But
You don't think Harsh Mentor is going to make it in Modern?
maybe some sideboard slots, but I don't really care for it.
I know that Craig Wesco is looking at a red-black hate bears, red-white hate bears.
I've
deck
been thinking in the
with Harsh
context
Mentor.
of Burn.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a burn card. I don't think.
I don't think it's a good Death and Taxes card either, though, because it still allows people to cast all of their spells and do all of their abilities. So it's only good in
where
a
did
deck
the
that's
2
also
damage
applying
to the
pressure.
player go? Oh, it can't target a player. Hold on, I don't know if that works. We need to look
Is it
at
target
Ravager of the
player or
Fells.
target creature?
I think it has to target a player and then it can deal damage to the creature.
I believe that is true, but I forget the wording on it. Nope. Up
Does
to
2
one target
damage
creature.
to target opponent and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature that player controls.
That's true. So we would
I
have
don't
to.
think that. Can,
Oh, well, it's he mean he drew a card at this point, so we just have to stop
Yeah.
next time.
Well, it would have made it so that Logan couldn't have fatal pushed the Ravager either. So
I mean, he couldn't. Well, yeah. So I think it happened, and it's now happened. But I don't think there's a whole lot. I mean, it's an unusual effect, and I don't think that either player has interacted with that particular thing enough.
You.
So, looks like we do have a Kitchen Finks coming down from Peter. Yeah, I don't know.
Now this game that Peter is still sort of in. I mean, the Elspeth has definitely made it very different. But this game that Peter is still sort of in is one where Logan resolved a turn 4 of Nixilis Reignited.
That is true. That is true. Yes, but because the sad robot died, he had the revolt trigger to kill the Ravager of the Fells. Okay. Yes, the Psalm Simulacrum.
Yes, the Solemn Simulacrum left the last turn when it attacked into the 2/2 wolf.
Yep.
And then Peter had it flip into Ravager and destroy it and deal 2 damage to one of the soldiers.
Ooh, look at those Morrow tokens coming down. We're running low on soldiers. Alright. And it looks like it is time to go to Game 3. Logan taking that one down with just an absolute beating.
Yeah, Elspeth will do that to you, because, I mean, Peter didn't have a way to do anything with the Elspeth there, and so it was going to ultimate the next turn and just kill Peter on the spot.
It was going to do the stuff that it do when it does what it does. That made no sense.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
I guarantee that'll be quoted.
Right. Nah, no.
Doro, get
won't.
on it.
Nah, no one's going to be able to type it out fast enough. They'll have already forgotten it. So, heading back to the sideboard.
I assure you Doro will have clipped it at this point so that he can type it out.
Nah,
Don't let me down, Doro. Don't let me down.
not a chance. So, heading into the sideboard, Game 3, who's going to take your edge now that we've seen this matchup a little bit?
Post board. Nope. That's hurtful. Post board, it's looking like Logan has the edge, but I think Peter is going to his sideboard here, so it's very possible that he's going to be taking out his hand disruption in order to mitigate the ley line.
Yeah. Make the ley line look a little bit worse and maybe just go up on his threat density. I think the way to beat this deck is by going underneath it.
Yep.
Most of Logan's early game is pretty underwhelming. The biggest thing that really supplements, like, Logan's early game is Lingering Souls. That's it.
Basically.
The only thing that he has that can even remotely survive, like, that is the entire card that matters in some of these other matchups. Any aggressive matchup, his one hope is to get this Lingering Souls. Because everything else that he has, Signets, great. I mean, Sorin, it makes a 2-2.
241 quotes now? That's so many quotes.
When did someone say Shakespeare was a burn play? That sounds like something I would have said, but I have no idea. You threw so many Hammerbots at me yesterday. God, I want to play that game again. And Kickbots. Kickbots are the bane of my existence, it turns out. Kickbots are the worst. Kickbots are the most annoying thing in the world. I'm trying to think of how to relate to Kickbots in, like, other game terms of just being the most frustrating things in the world.
Banshees from Mass Effect 3.
No. No, more annoying.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yep, it's Chris. Thanks so much.
Thanks for hitting that follow button.
Thanks for hitting the follow. It's a pleasure having you here. You are a rockstar. Kickbots are love. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, that's what I meant. I meant Kickbots are love.
Oh, sure.
So, in Inquisition early on, we have Damnation, Signet, Gideon, Elsbeth, 3 lands. So we have 3 lands, 3 All-Stars. And of course,
or some Signet.
in the truest form of the Thoughtseize rule,
Yep.
we drew the Signet. If you take it, they will draw it. This is the rule with Inquisition and Thoughtseize. Every time.
Deck lists are not really posted anywhere currently.
We don't have those available. It's a weekly tournament. We stream 3 times a week, and logistically it's very difficult for us to collect deck lists and also to even attempt requiring them for a weekly event that anybody can show up to anytime, because that's what it is.
Yep.
We have them for our more formal events, but not for the weeklies. So, Tarmogoyf coming down. It actually does have a bit of pressure. It's a 3-4 because of the Signet.
Decent sized turn 2 Goyf.
It is. And this is kind of where we're getting to where
18?
without Lingering Souls, Logan is
look.
really struggling with applying pressure. Because he's at 18. He's about to start getting attacked to, a Thoughtseize. Or even an instant turns this suddenly into a pretty short clock.
I mean, if Peter wants to post his deck list every week for us, that's fine, but we're not going to do that.
Always Thoughtseize the hoof. That way they draw the other and their natural owners are dead. Classic Atomic Tacos. We drew the ley line. Do you play it? Or would you rather do Damnation at Tarmogoyf?
You could Damnation the
got backup in
Tarmogoyf.
hand?
You can Damnation the Tarmogoyf, and that way next turn, if Peter doesn't have anything else, you can just Gideon.
Uh-huh.
Or you could just Gideon this turn and make a 2-2 that blocks the Tarmogoyf. And then Damnation next turn if Peter deploys another threat.
My heart says Gideon, but I want a Damnation.
We're both wrong. It's a ley line of Sanctity.
Looks like it is, in fact. This means that whatever he draws, he gets to play now. And if he thinks that he can survive the hit down to 11 to start going for these board wipes, then he's actually not in too bad of a position. Plus, this encourages Peter to drop down another threat. Because now that he can't get it with Hand Disruption or clean up the game with bolts, then it incentivizes him to start casting out other creatures.
This could also incentivize like a Maelstrom Pulse being taken out of Peter's hand to take out the ley line.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be one reason that Logan kind of got this out there.
Mm-hmm.
But that all depends on the context of Peter's hand. So that's how you master a deck. It's true. Just play it. Kolaghan's Command instead. What are the 2 modes? Shatter that, shock my Goyf.
Classic.
Sure.
It got an instant into the graveyard, and that's the
did.
key part, is that it was actually...
I might have done that before damage.
I agree. But I think it maybe was an afterthought. And Logan
Plays a tap line.
missing him. What's up, M. Solace? It's good to see you. As a small note, Peter does change this deck occasionally. I think it's more that he's got a box of, more than 75.
He's got a box of foil Jund stuff.
Yeah, and just kind of puts it together.
It's called the Foily Jund box.
He shocked his own Tarmogoyf. He did not shock Logan.
Yeah, he shocked his Goify Goif. And now, Logan is... I mean, this Gideon is not enough. He's at 4.
And there's a Raging Ravine.
And there's a Raging Ravine. He's just dead on board.
That's not true. What if Peter attacks the Gideon? It's a pretty big card.
With him with Logan at 4.
Yep.
And Raging Ravine attacking as a 5/5.
Yes.
And the Goif is a 4/5.
Uh-huh.
I don't think Peter misclicks like that.
You never know. We got the activation. And,
Attack you. And there we go.
Alright, looks like he did in fact go for Logan.
No
Peter-
misclicks here.
In true Peter form. Every single time I say Peter's probably the underdog in this matchup.
Just wins.
He crushes it.
Of course.
Every time.
It's just classic Peter.
He crushed Jund. Or he crushed Tron.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
He Junded Tron in 2, I think. In round 1. It was like, this was a bigger tournament. And he comes up and it's like, alright, in round 1 in this bigger tournament, and it's against Tron. So Peter off to a bat and crushes it in 2. Okay, whatever. Sure, Peter. Do your
Classic
thing.
Peter.
Do your thing.
It's just how we do.
Oh, man. And of course, Logan on that very cool and very exciting Deathcloud deck that's recent. Still getting a little bit used to it. Maybe just a little bit of hasn't hit every situation yet. Still kind of figuring out the sequencing. But I think we could maybe find another match. How do you feel about it?
I think that I can probably maybe do that.
All right. We'll see you up there. Hello and welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. My name is TJ, and we're streaming out of the previously named Geek Fortress located in Snohomish, Washington. I've got Bryce in here with me tonight. Thank you so much, Light, hopefully. Cuff Minnow, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's a pleasure having you here. You are a rock star. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. I look forward to seeing you more in the future. Now, we do stream out of the shop every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Every Wednesday at 7 and Saturday at 6 Pacific time. We are streaming Modern. Plus, every Friday at 7:30, you can join us for Legacy at 7:30. Always a pleasure, always a lot of fun, and I will be here for just about all of it. But you can also support the store by heading over to geekfortressgames.com. Anytime that you do need those cards, whenever you do need those supplies, check it out, have some fun with the website, and see if you can't support the store. It's a small shop that's always growing, and every little bit that you can do there does help this shop grow, and which in turn grows the stream. Thank you, by the way. Is Standard picking up yet, or is everyone waiting for Amonkhet to hit? It sounds like we're in a soup can. Does it sound like we're in a soup can? We changed some of our audio stuff, and if it's having problem, let me know. But, how is Standard? Actually, Standard at Geek Fortress is moving to Sundays. The event. The event itself has been moving towards Sundays. Now, the issue there is that my schedule doesn't allow me to consistently stream every Sunday. So, if Standard does officially move to Sundays, and it does remain popular, then it would likely not be me doing those Standard streams. Plus, they'd be somewhat inconsistent because all of the other events happen on Sundays. Which makes Sundays kind of odd to me, but that's apparently when people want to play. Okay. So, what? Oh, the mic sounds great. Thank you.
That's good.
I don't know why you're saying that it's not. Does anybody else? Does anybody else feel like it sounds like we're in a soup can? Pipus 1411. Thank you so much. You feel like Peter has a velvet-lined deck box? Oh man, I can't wait to disappoint you at Peter's house with all his cards in it. Actually, kind of want to make one. Okay, so what Peter has is a normal box that you would buy for like $4 on his not double-sleeved foil deck that just has a single silicon packet thrown into it.
That's what Peter's got.
Yep. Do I expect to see Vizier of the Menagerie in Modern? You trying out a single copy, and I think it's worth watching. It strikes me as the kind of card that in a deck that can use value, which are starting to become more popular, largely popularized by Todd, the Eternal Brewer, who tends to have his ear
Modern
pretty well.
Brewer. Eternals, older formats teacher.
Pit entry is actually like my least favorite thing in the world.
I know.
Peter's living on the edge.
why I'm here.
Yes, he is. But Vizier of the Menagerie, it's a great value card. I'm just not sure if it is going to be I'm not sure if it's an immediate 4-off, but it's definitely solid. It's definitely solid. I like it. No soup cans. I dig it. No double sleeve foil deck. Nope, not for Peter. No, he's a loose cannon.
So out there are 2 games going. One of them was in Game 3. The other was starting Game 3, but one of them didn't want to play. So we're getting close to round 2.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Which means that it's time for me to ask your opinion.
Oh boy. Oh no. Opinions.
We're going to start talking about the new cards from Amonkhet.
Oh
Which,
boy.
I'm just going to start typing Magic Spoiler and hope that, because I don't want to try and spelling it.
What are you trying to do?
Amonkhet. I don't want to deal with spelling that. There we go. Nailed it. Alright, we're going to talk about cards that we think are going to make it
Mythic Spoiler.
into Modern. Man, you are so needy.
I am needy.
Just kidding. You live in 100% humidity year-round. You've never found the need to use any kind of desiccant in your collection. Neat. Alright, Angel of Sanctions. That one was said by a pro to be reasonable. What are your thoughts?
I think it's okay,
I think it's awful.
but I don't think. So the upside for it doesn't die to Fatal Push, doesn't die to Lightning Bolt.
Okay, downside 5 mana for an effect that's everywhere.
No, absolutely. I definitely I don't think that it'll make it, but it's got the stats to maybe have a shot.
How about Anointerpre? You know what, I'm just going to keep
There are
rolling.
just better things in it.
Approach of the Second Sun is, I think, going to get played for at least the first month.
Someone's gonna try it. It's gonna do medium to medium good.
Well, let me get up so I can show you this.
Like, Zach Elsick is going to put it in some deck, and he's going to go, 5-0 at some weird Modern tournament. He's going to be like, guys, this deck is great.
He actually
and everybody's
already
going
is.
to try play. See? Exactly.
I think I can make this work. Hold on. When we click on a card, where does it show up? Sorry, I'm trying to make it to where we can where we can show you what card that we're looking at.
Loading.
Okay. Perfect. We can work with this.
Sure.
Can I work with that? Yes.
It's moving very slow.
It is moving very slowly. But
Try going back to the other one, because...
We'll make 2. Any of the gods appeal to you?
The one that appeals to me the most is probably Ronas. I think that it's got a shot of fitting into a Jund or Abzan deck, and just being a very powerful, cheap, big threat.
Sure. I don't think that Bond 2 is nearly as good as other people tell me.
No, I don't think that. Bond
Maybe
is all
I'm
that
wrong.
good.
I could be wrong. These are all opinions. Vizier of the Menagerie.
Definitely will have a shot somewhere.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
The card is just so cool on its own that it's worth keeping an eye on. Glorious End. People will try it.
Glorious End, people will try it. Eric wants to try it as a sideboard piece against Ad Nauseam for Blue Moon.
He can't win the game with his next turn, though.
I know that. And I told him that. But he was just like, eh.
I like that it's a mono red counterspell and that it's actually a better counterspell than blue gets. Liliana.
Liliana could find a spot in a bigger control deck type one, but that's about it.
I think she's worse than every other option. Mm-hmm. As foretold.
As foretold, this card is going to see a lot of play, I think, but I'm not sure how good it will actually be. It's a 3-mana enchantment that allows you to, the first time you cast it, sure, you can cast Restore Balance or Ancestral
I would not
and
Amphi.
just go from there, but...
That's true. I guess you don't need to win the game when Ad Nauseam kills itself. That's only if you're going to beat their Laboratory Maniac, but that's true, I suppose. As for Told, I don't know, it's a combo card only. All the people who think they're going to build a value deck out of it that suddenly like starts using the draw 3 and then puts in a counterspell is, I think, just going to be abysmally off.
Well, the thing is, with Glorious End, if they Angels Graced to Ad Nauseam, it's loss of life, so they go to negative, and then you Glorious End, goes to your turn, they're dead. Because state-based effects get checked, and they just die.
I hear you.
So the only way that it doesn't work is if they have, like, Phyrexian life.
Which is half the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's a possibility.
I hear you. It does seem reasonable, especially if they go for the Serum Visions. Josh, the reason why it's better than Dispel or Mana Leak is because those cards are both Terabad once Ad Nauseam has resolved. Now, granted, that's not when you should be combating it, but regardless, because they have Pact of Negation, and it can't get hit by Pact.
And that's basically what I told Eric. I was like, Glorious End is just not better than any other counter spells because they'll just Pact it against you.
Yep.
So.
Well, yeah, they can't Pact Glorious End, I don't. Oh, no, they can Pact Glorious End.
You most definitely can.
Can't you? No, that card's just bad.
And that's what I told him. But
it needs Split Second. Give it Split Second, and I'm
give it Split Second. It's just great. Getting into the trials. Okay, so this card, I think, might be an option for Ad Nauseam as a Phyrexian Unlife type effect.
I see it as normally they have often they have a 4th Phyrexian Unlife in the sideboard. Mm-hmm. I think it will become this.
Yeah.
Only because it's decent against Infect, and that's it. It's about the same everywhere. So, but that's the thought. Yep. Oh, it's also better than Dispel in decks that aren't blue.
True.
All the trials, any of them stand out to you as being at all good?
Maybe Trial of Ambition.
Really?
Being a sacrifice effect can sometimes come into play.
Being an Edict?
Yeah. An Edict effect is usually pretty okay, but otherwise it's not great.
I don't think it's good enough, though. Unless the cartouches are somehow real good.
Yeah, if the cartouches end up somehow playable, then maybe.
Which I don't think they will.
But I don't think any of the cartouches are playable in Modern. The closest one is maybe, like, the white cartouche, being something that, like, Bogles can play that makes a thing to sacrifice to...
Is that better than Dryad Arbor?
How much is the white cartouche? 2 mana?
1.
No, it's 1. So it's like a Hyena Umbra that makes a 1/1 that you can sacrifice to Liliana, but doesn't make.
It's decent.
Doesn't give them totem armor.
It's decent.
Yep.
Too many lands. There will be Modern. We're just at the end of round 1 right now. Let's see here.
Renewed Faith. I want to look at Renewed Faith.
Okay. I mean, it's...
Because I think this card actually could see Modern play.
I don't think so.
I think that it's a powerful enough effect against Burn and gives blue-white, like, a mediocre cantrip. I'm not saying it's great.
It's worse than every other option. Like, how is that at all reasonable when they're just our gain 10 life spells?
I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying that it's something.
Okay. I'm pretty There are life gain spells that I'm worried about, and that's not one of them. I am convinced that someone needs to try this card.
Sandworm Convergence?
Someone needs to try Sandworm Convergence. That card is just awesome. I don't care that it's bad. The card's great.
I don't know if I'd say great.
Let's see here. Harvest Season actually strikes me as pretty cool.
Yep. We skipped by Pull from Tomorrow.
That's because it's not good.
Says who?
Says every other X draw spell.
Such as?
I mean, they've printed these before. They printed one in Shadows too, didn't they? Or right in Shadows? I thought they did.
The Shadows one is
or is it that the Exile
Factor Fiction type effect?
Ah, that's right.
So Pull from Tomorrow, I think, actually gives a bit of card advantage type effect.
Pretty much
to
just
Blue
Mono
Moon.
Bluetron.
Blue Moon and Mono Bluetron. Yep. So Blue Moon, for a long time, has been looking for this kind of effect, and Blue Sun Zenith is just not where you want to be.
Sure.
So I think this card is one that you could play. There's another blue draw spell
I'll
later.
wait to see. I'll wait to see.
There's
Okay.
another blue draw spell later that I think would be played over it if you're playing the Torrential Gearhulk version, but
Even Mind Sensor, already good.
already sees play.
None of the others seem good to
Zero
me.
Many Faces is probably not going to get played. Dispossess could be okay against like the artifact combo decks, where you
think
need
it'll
like
ever actually
Kark Clan
get played.
Ironworks to go off. You just cast that name, Kark Clan Ironworks, take it.
I'm not sure if
But
it's
there
better than the
there are
other stuff.
better effects out there that already do the same thing. So.
Don't think any of that's
Nope,
worth
actually, Sweltering Suns. Again, I think this is a card that it competes with Anger of the Gods, and a lot of the time, Anger of the Gods is going to be better. But there are decks where, like, say Blue Moon, for instance, where you're just playing this blue-red control deck, but you don't need a board wipe. So instead, you can change it for a card in your deck and do something else.
Yeah,
So
I actually do not dislike that one. I think it's got potential in somewhere. Don't know where, but it's worth looking at.
Shadow of the Grave, you get back all your stuff that you cycled with your in your.
In your Mr. Toad's Wild Ride deck?
No, I don't know why I can't remember the name. Living End. That was the name of the card. Your Living End deck. Give them all back.
I don't think you want to do that.
No, it's a bad plan. Prowling Serpapard.
Bad.
Bad. Harsh Mentor.
In Modern? Bad.
I think it's got a place somewhere, but it's not in a burn deck.
It's not in a burn deck. It's not in Hate Pairs. Like, the problem is that it might replace, like, the Eidolon that's in the sideboard of some of the Bushwhacker Zoo lists. For, like, some of those matchups. The big issue is that it just dies too easily, so it's only good against a small number of decks, and then it's a matter of bringing it in for a deck that those decks aren't already favored against. Like, I just don't think it's worth playing it in burn.
Yes, Wasteland Carl. I was joking. I don't know if that was apparent with Shadow of the Grave, but I was most definitely joking about it being in Living End because you can't play it there.
Yeah, I don't know. Harsh Mentor is, I think, more worth it in Legacy, but I'm actually decently underwhelmed with it in Modern. Like, I don't even like it in Death and Taxes. Style lists that are trying to make, like, any Liliana deck, I don't like it. Because when you're trying to do those things, when you're trying to run the Even Mind Sensor, trying to run Liliana, and you're trying to run the Arbiter...
Do you mean Thalia?
Yeah, an Arbiter. I do mean Thalia. And then you're running the other Thalia, like, any of that stuff. They're all doing one thing together, which is making it hard for your opponent to play the game. And this card doesn't. It just punishes them for doing what they're going to do anyway, and it's very likely that the reason why they're making any action is that it's probably usually worth more than 2 life to just kill you. I mean,
That's fair.
and so I don't like this card in a Death and Taxes shell because it doesn't actually tax your opponent at all.
I disagree. I think that I don't remember exactly how Craig Wesco put it, but he put it in a way that I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Well, like, it makes them double check on all their fetches, which turn into 3. It makes them consider their plays anymore, but it's only good if you can actually back it up with enough pressure. Like, they're gonna win at 1 the same as they're gonna win at the 13, unless you actually have the way to bridge that.
But it's like, say you on turn 1 you play an Aether Vial. Turn 2 you take that up to 1 and cast a Thalia. Turn 3 you take it up to 2, you cast Harsh Mentor, and they have like 2 fetches in play. Do they fetch before you Harsh Mentor? Because if they do, then you just, boom, here's my Leonin Arbiter. If they don't, then they fetch, and then you Leonin Arbiter, and they take 4. Like, there are situations where it's just going to be powerful.
So then they take 4, and then they keep playing the game, and then they kill you?
Except you Leonin Arbiter. Them. You Leonin Arbiter.
Doesn't that just make the Leon and Arbiter the good card and not Harsh Mentor?
Yeah, but Harsh Mentor made them fetch because they didn't want to take the... It makes sense, TJ.
No, it doesn't.
It makes sense.
I don't care. Like, I just don't care at all. That you're just telling me, yeah, Hate Bears is a really good deck, and if they run this bad card, they'll deal 4 damage instead of 3.
Woo!
Like, nailed
woo!
it. I don't care. I think that this card is going to be surprisingly underwhelming in the context of Modern. Maybe in Legacy where the activations are more important and like the games, but I'm not seeing it in Modern. Craig Wesco is a better player than me, but I disagree with that point. Disagree. You were exactly right, Shade of Hades.
Yeah, you have to scroll.
Oh, that's right, I do have to scroll. We already touched on Approach
We
the
already touched on Approach of the Sun.
Zach Elsick will do it.
Curator of Mysteries could, along with As Foretold, could make Living End start playing blue.
I have heard that. I'm not convinced by it. But I think it would be more for Drakehaven and Curator. I think Drakehaven actually offers a decent alternate win condition.
But, I mean, As Foretold makes it so that you can just cast your Living Ends no matter what. So
I would only run like
gives
a
them
one
a
of.
shot.
I mean, it means that you have to have the card that you never want to draw and that card in your hand. I think it's reasonable to do, but I like the Drakehaven as like a way to get around it if they're willing to go blue splash.
Plague Belcher might have a shot in like a zombie deck somewhere. Being a 3-mana 5/4 with Menace, where it comes in, you kill like your 2 Gravecrawlers or something. You kill a Gravecrawler and
The
you
new
have a
infinite
5/4.
combo.
The new infinite combo Channeler Initiate.
Yep.
What's the infinite combo Channeler?
Or no, sorry, the new
that's
white-
that's
white
with the
one.
Vizier and so Soulscar Mage. Oh,
Ooh, it's time for the next round. Alright. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody. We appreciate it. We were working through the cards there. Are we between rounds? Not anymore. Round 2 coming up. Bryce is out there picking around right now. Zombies are getting a couple of tools in this set. I'll be curious to see if they can do stuff. Let's see here. Life is a resource and Mentor limits how they spend it. Not really. It doesn't stop them from spending it. And if your opponent often kills you when they're at 13 because they're ahead, then they're going to kill you just as well when they're at 1. I mean, like, limiting how much they spend, I don't think does nearly as much as stopping them from spending it. And Harsh Mentor just doesn't do that. So I think it's too inconsistent for the decks that are applying enough pressure and doesn't do enough in the decks that don't. Plague Belcher is pretty underrated. I could see that. Mentor doesn't hit Tron's eggs. That's true. That's true. Sorry, an anonymous person donated pizza to the whole store today, and it's amazing. Did you miss the Gideon of the Trials analysis? Our main analysis of it is that it'll probably get played as a one of in Ad Nauseam sideboard over what is often a 4th. Deus Almighty, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's a pleasure having you here. Over what is often the 4th, Phyrexian Unlife, as a way to be the same effect, but through Infect especially. Mentor is way better in Burn versus Affinity than Stony Silence. Sure.
alright. So facing the wall's Kevin.
What? Kevin's playing?
Oh yeah.
I knew that.
And he's playing Derek.
What?
I think it's DK.
Yes.
Kevin is on Green White Hate Bears.
We will. I'll reset the timer as soon as it's actually the new round.
And Derek is on Jund Shadow.
On Jund Shadow.
Jund Shadow with the
Or
White
Shadow
Splash.
Okay, so Jund Shadow.
Yep. Yeah, he was like, oh, well, it is, but and then he shows me, he's like, with the White Splash. I'm like, so Jund. Got it.
I mean, they all have Lingering Souls in the sideboard.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do.
Death Shadow.
We can't.
Can't?
Nope.
Is it,
Has
is it
an
not
apostrophe.
there? There's lots of things that have apostrophes.
Yeah, and we can't do them if they aren't the first thing that comes up. There's a lot of things that start with voice or with death.
You forgot an F.
Sorry, I got a little bit of Irish there. The voice of resurgence.
Alright, Ethan.
Whoops, shorten that one. Alright, so round 2, Shadow Jund versus Green White Hate
Just do
Bears.
pictures, Bob.
Now, Green White Hate Bears is actually, same could be said for Great Revel, not really. It actually is guaranteed damage. The Harsh Mentor isn't. Harsh Mentor can just get removed and then the game's done there.
What decks do I play? Lots.
Yeah, we both play it a lot.
Is there a deck in Modern? I'd probably play it at some point.
Voice of Resurgence, like, or Green-White Hypers, it's got a lot of powerful pieces against Shadow. It's got a good number of taxing creatures. It can limit a little bit of what they do. I think that it's actually not a... I mean, it's a little bit...
not yet.
Give them
I'll
10
I'll let him
seconds.
know.
Oh, okay. Wait, hang on.
Okay, so...
Okay.
I think that's got decent tools. I mean, a lot of the tools are similar, not the same, but similar to some of the tools that are used in, like, the Todd Stevens Green-White Value deck, which is very, favored against the Shadow deck. You've got Path to Exile, which is pretty good. The Shadow version does not have access to the counterspell.
Actually, this could be Grixis splashing white.
Earlier he was playing, and it did look like... Or if this is the list that John was playing
It is
earlier-
Grixis splashing white.
Yep. This is
Okay.
different. So it's actually Shadow Grixis.
Yep, but it is splashing white. Stubborn now.
Well, that's probably a good
The
one.
main reason I'm playing it.
Yeah, agreed. I've actually heard some ideas of 5-color Shadow, which is just Jund splashing white for Lingering Souls and splashing blue for Stubborn now, both in the sideboard. I mean, the mana base is already super loose, so it's not that taxing. But the Shadow, the Grixis version, decent. I think it's my second favorite one.
Yeah, I think the Jund one is by far the... I don't know if I want to say by far, but it is the overall best one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Grixis is right behind it. Right on its heels.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that just is that the Jund one has a lot more time to be tuned, but it also just, it's much more focused in what it's doing, which is something that I value pretty highly in a deck. No love for Esper or Orzhov Charm? None whatsoever. I actually think it's just the worst version. Now, that granted, Death Shadow is still the best deck in Modern,
Lean and
so
Arbiter.
it's like, being the fourth best version of Death Shadow means it's the fourth best deck in Modern, which is still pretty good. But I do think that Esper is probably just my least favorite.
Leonid Arbiter and Loxodon Smiter. It's a decent turn 3.
It is a not bad turn 3 in a deck that is loaded to the top with fetch lands. And, I mean, he doesn't have Traverse in the deck, which would actually be slightly worse with this Leonid Arbiter out. But...
So he's
Still
still
gonna
going
be a
to
little
the
bit
Water
inhibiting.
Grave, which will allow him to terminate the Loxodon Smiter.
I might have to terminate the... no more fetches needed.
Yeah,
the big
he-
thing right now is that Derek is still at 17.
Well, he's going to shock himself down to 15.
Is Shadow really that much better than the other decks? I think that Jund Shadow is the best deck to be playing in Modern. Not close. At all. I really don't think that it's close. I think that Death Shadow is just the best deck right now.
Yep.
I would say that it is that much better.
It is just the best deck.
I don't say that it's like clear cut, like miles distance.
So I like
But I don't think
terminating
it's,
here because of the fact that that makes it so that Kevin will attack next turn with the Arbiter, get the Exalted trigger, and put Derek to 12 so he can start casting Death Shadows if he wants to.
I dig it.
So
It's just enough to keep the Dash Shadows alive.
Gives you that flexibility, whereas otherwise he likely would have attacked with both creatures, and then he would have only taken 2 and gone to 13.
Blue-white is favored against it. Burn is not. Burn is actually 50-50 against it.
Yeah.
And just because there are certain decks that in this particular meta beat it, doesn't change the fact that you're having to run a pretty warped list just to beat it. Like, I get that there are decks that beat it because that's how metas work. But that doesn't change the fact that I think that Jund Shadow is just the deck. It is the deck to beat. And that doesn't mean that it's, a full mile distance between first and second place, but you don't need the photo finish to find out.
Yeah.
You know who's winning. Like, it's not running circles around everyone else, but you know where it's at. It's in the front. Seraphir, thank you so much for the sub. 6 months in a row. That is incredible. Thank you for the support. Thanks for being as awesome as you are. A Gurmag Angler coming on down. How do you feel about it? It gets in the way nicely.
I like Gurmag Angler. I think that it's a very, very powerful card currently.
It outclasses
And
a lot of this deck.
Super sweet 1/1 Death Shadow. Looking all dangerous and such.
Mm-hmm. Marquis! Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. Or sub button. It's amazing having your support. Thank you so much. We're using
Thanks
some
for
of that
hitting
new
all the buttons.
awesomeness here. You are great. We've got a new mic set up. We're working on getting a new table. We're working on getting a new computer as soon as an auction goes live. We're doubling down on arbiters. Okay.
I don't think the Bant Eldrazi took that much of a hit. I actually think that the Bant Eldrazi deck is one of the few decks that can somewhat contend with the Death Shadow decks.
It's got Path and giant creatures.
Yep. Plus, Drowner of Hope is pretty good.
Yeah. Calamari, you've clearly got something. I should probably take a page out of your book and start jamming that game plan. Seems really effective. So, Kolaghan's Command, gonna take down the Ether Vial.
Destroy that.
We got a Flicker Wisp. Flicker the Arbiter?
Nope. Just a pump fake.
Ooh, I love the pump fake.
Solid pump fake.
And losing the Leonin Arbiter leaves us with just the Voice of Resurgence.
And another Leonin Arbiter.
Exactly. So we aren't going to be searching yet, but I don't think that that's Derek's main priority. If anything, Derek almost wants to take damage.
Hit the red source?
It stops Temur Battle Rage. I think cutting off Temur Battle Rage is probably the biggest thing that could be happening right now. Even though it's not always super common in this list, it also cuts off any more Kolaghan's commands, and you just dropped another Ether Vial.
Okay.
So a Flick of the Wisp.
Look at that flick of the wrist.
Look at you.
Ooh,
Thought Scour, we've got more Delving coming, and that's a Street Wraith.
A Street Wraith, and draws a Street Wraith, so we'll get to draw another card.
Those are some beautiful bolts, Derek.
Go to 10. Those are beautiful bolts.
Those are some pretty bolts, Derek. Going down to 10 is going to be big, because that actually is bigger than everything else on the board.
Yep, now it's a 3/3 Death Shadow.
If you turn it sideways, do you do this before you turn it sideways or after?
No, you definitely don't let him know. You're just like, I'm attacking with this 1/1.
I mean, you don't know quite what it is. You have to assume, but maybe you...
Well, if he single blocks, then he's able to just cycle and have that happen. If he double blocks, then Derek can cycle and Fatal Push one of the two creatures.
Does every deck run Temur main board? Jund definitely does. Grixis occasionally does, and the other two don't have the option. So not really. But Jund certainly, and Grixis it occasionally does, because you basically have like a few free win slots.
Looks like Kevin's just not going to block.
Alright.
So Derek's going to cycle.
Draw into Street Wraith. Every time.
Boy.
Can I get the
Boy.
Look at this foresight that I've got.
Boy.
You always cycle into
we'll
the
do it
Street
again.
Wraith.
Cycling the Street Wraith is another one.
No,
Street Wraith number 4.
But you always do. It seems like every time. I've seen this at least 4 times that someone cycles a Street Wraith into a Street Wraith.
So that's going to be 10.
Yeah. Suddenly Kevin's not looking quite so bold. Now keep in mind.
And now Derek should probably Fatal Push this Arbiter now.
Nope.
Nope, just play another 5/5. That works
and
too.
Kevin's only got 2 2/2s to apply pressure with the Gavany not active at the moment.
This is looking pretty good for Derek. Ooh, a tapped land off the top for Kevin.
Yep.
He just passes it back. This is not good at all for Kevin, because Derek's going to be able to Fatal Push the Arbiter.
Or just keep bashing.
Fetch and shock, and then Kevin's just basically dead.
Bashing. How many Street Wraiths do you need to make an Avenue Wraith? Those are actually not things. Those are not size relative things. Like a street doesn't become an avenue at a certain point.
See, I like Fatal Pushing the Arbiter before this, because then he can fetch and shock and have big giant creatures. But this also works.
I guess sometimes they do. Avenues are generally bigger than streets.
Huh. And Voice is going to trigger.
That is pretty confusing, Empathy. 5 if you want to turn lane in the middle. So, a big old Basharoonie, 1 Voice of Resurgence. Do you think we can get it up to 8?
No. Not with 1 card.
Sun Dodger, I like your style. 4 Street Wraiths make a block Wraith.
So, if Kevin draws exactly...
He still has the Fatal Push in hand, right?
Yeah, like he can draw Blade Splicer, but that just dies to the...
I think you just hit the Golem at that point anyway.
Well, it dies to the Kolaghan's Command that's still in Derek's hand.
That too. So what, you Fatal Push the Spirit, or Fatal Push the Elemental?
Kolaghan's Command in the upkeep. Gonna kill that, make you discard. It'll be my turn, and I will kill you.
All right, so Derek takes game 1 pretty commandingly.
Yeah.
With a Kolagon's command. Looks pretty solid. Gonna take game 1, and we're gonna see a game 2. Kevin didn't have the tools, had a really good accelerated start, and that game hit a really big turning point the second that Derek fell to 12.
Yep.
More than anything, he got out of Gurmag Angler, and then just by going down to 12, taking that one hit, put him in the realm of starting to cast some of these cards, which mean that his Street Wraiths became active, and it just went uphill from there.
Yeah, it all goes back to him casting the Terminate on his turn to take out the Loxodon Smiter instead of waiting for Kevin's turn for him to attack with both, so that extra point got through. He went to 12 instead of 13. That was the most important thing there, I think, in that game.
Absolutely. How many lightning bolts? Probably 4, maybe 3.
It's usually 4, I think. I've seen a few lists with 3, but most of them are 4.
Now that Duel Commander is an official format, am I going to stream it? Do you mean here, or do you mean from my home stream? From here, no. Almost certainly not. I would be open to doing it as a one-off event, maybe, but it would take a lot because deck lists are difficult, politics exist, and everything is very wacky in EDH. In online, it would take me enjoying EDH to do so, which currently I don't. But if I decided that suddenly, or if I started to enjoy playing EDH, especially Dual EDH, which is my least favorite EDH, then I will absolutely stream it from home. But,
so it'll take some steps.
But at the moment, that's not the case. Any Living End tonight? I'm not sure.
I don't think there
It
was
might be
any
getting
Living
more
End out
popular
there.
soon, though. Might be getting a little bit of a boost soon.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Living End and Restore Balance both shot up in price.
I know that Duel is 1v1. I know it. But that
Bought
doesn't
your
change.
4th Goyf today. Awesome. KJ Mo.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Mono-Red EDH burn. I've built it. It was awful. It's official in that there are now Moto leagues for it. Any Scred tonight? Yes, there is Scred in the room.
There is a Scrap deck out there.
Yep. There are now going to be Moto leagues for Dual Commander, which is, I think, actually going to probably get taken away.
Pretty quickly, yeah.
I think that there's going to be a lot of people who sign up for it with their EDH deck thinking that it's going to be a fun format. And then there's going to be a group of people who sign up with a basically Highlander vintage deck, realizing that they can just get free money for doing so. And they're just going to start sweeping the field. Because Dual Commander is inherently busted.
Yeah, Dual Commander is very, very different than regular Commander.
So, I mean, it offers something else, but I think that most EDH on Moto is still going to be happening in the casual leagues.
Too many lands. There's not a Madcap Moon deck out there that I'm aware of.
Not at the moment. Eric isn't here today. That's true. No, that was Tiny Leaders, Texas. I got 2 amazing kills. I killed someone with a Tibalt minus, the second one, his second ability.
So the sudden impact.
Yeah. So I killed one person with a sudden impact, and Texas had, I think, 3 cards left in his library. Or what was it? It was a Sylvan library killed. And one of them was a land.
Okay.
Because Sylvan library, you just draw.
You draw the cards.
And I think I put him
then
down to 2 by putting a land into his hand.
Ah.
With a Goblin Guide.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, you've never played high-level competitive Commander? I have not.
You are correct.
What's the
That
difference between
is
EDH
fact.
and Dual Commander? You're confused. Oh, EDH is a casual format that you play with friends. Dual Commander is vintage.
Highlander Vintage
Yes.
without the Power 9.
So instead of free-for-all with 4 people, it is 1v1. There's significantly less politics to keep the broken stuff at bay. And how can it be that busted when variance is that wide? Because they have printed a lot of tutors over the last 25 years.
Variance basically doesn't exist the majority of the time.
Yeah. It's pretty close to vintage. It's basically like, it's more powerful than...
It's in between Legacy and Vintage.
Yeah. But they've printed a lot of tutors over the last 25 years, and all of them are legal.
Yep.
Yep. Does TJ play Burn in Legacy as well? Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does. Why did I type dope? I don't remember doing that.
Dope. That's dope.
Library is a May. Then maybe it was that he had a library and I'm remembering that, but maybe he did only have 1 card left and I put him down to 0. Texas, you were the one who died. Did you have 1 card and I put you down to 0 then? Nicely done, Panda. It's good to see you. Now that being said, this doesn't change the fact that I think that Dual Commander that you play with your friends can be absolutely casual. The problem is that once you add a monetary factor, it encourages people to want that money.
Exactly.
So, like, I don't think that if they had Dual Commander on Moto as like free and casual, that it would be inherently busted. It would be EDH. The thing that is making it close to Vintage, which is exactly the same as, like, EDH could be the same thing. EDH can absolutely be Vintage. They even have Sol Ring. The thing that keeps that one at bay is because there's no monetary incentive to do so.
Ah, it was Commander. He was on next turn with 5 extra draws and 6 cards before your attack. So it was regular Commander.
Awesome. Awesome. Fair enough, Kinetic. No Moxes. So, we have got a Birds of Paradise turn 1 from Kevin off of a Temple.
I don't really count Time Twister as part of the Power 9 these days.
Should be Library, anyway.
Should be like Library or Sol Ring or so many other things.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
So,
Push the Bird. Just doesn't have the same ring.
I do, and you know what? This is how you can tell that I'm a Melvin and you're a Vorthos. I say push the bird, and I'm like, yeah, push the bird. And you're like, push the bird. Whoa. Why would you push a bird?
It flew away a little bit. Darn it.
And immediately our archetypes on that scale are identified. Immediately. I am certainly a Melvin. I am all about the mechanics.
You can laugh at Sol Ring being in the Power 9 all that you want. There are many people who, in a powered Vintage Cube draft, will take Sol Ring over a Mox.
I do. You should. It's
You should.
objectively
It's
better.
just better.
It's objectively better.
Boom.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Okay.
Are you sure you're a Melvin?
Sol Ring is better than Time Twister.
Sol Ring is definitely better than Time Twister.
So,
Push the ooze.
again, a perfectly reasonable player to me, to you. Huh. That's just gross. Alright. So, we have got...
look. Arbiter, Ghost Quarter, your 1 land.
And suddenly Kevin is probably going to take game 1. Or game 2, I'm sorry. Game 2 looks pretty good for Kevin. I mean, Derek's down to 17, so Death Shadow isn't big enough. One big thing here, and this is actually going to take an interesting play. Once you put Eric to 15 to this, there's a very good argument to be made for starting to build up your resource of creatures and not continually applying pressure. If Kevin attacks him down to 13, down to 11, down to 9, he's actually just sealing his own doom against the Death Shadow, which would come down as a 5/5. But if he keeps this one up, puts down a Lockstone Smiter, puts in an Aven Mind Sensor, puts in a Brimaz, if that's in the deck. I don't entirely know what's in this deck, but I assume that Brimaz is an option. You build up this field of cards while Derek doesn't have a whole lot of options.
Found
You
a
leave
land.
back Derek's card to where it puts him, makes him do the effort.
Is that a choke?
Yes,
Get
it
your
is.
choke out of here. I don't want to see your choke.
I love that. Choke is great.
Get that out of my face.
Do you take Choke, Kitchen Finks, or Vile? I think you take Choke or Finks.
You take choke, yeah.
But apparently we do not have the Abrupt
You
Decay.
probably take choke.
If I had an Abrupt Decay, I probably wouldn't. Doesn't have options of Abrupt Decay.
I was about to say, I was like,
Sorry,
this
I was
is
thinking
Grixis plus
I
white.
was thinking of Sultai version for a moment.
Yep, take the choke. Get that choke out of my face.
Yep.
Man, choke just gives me such bad memories.
I've actually been considering putting Boil into the Scred sideboard pretty heavily. I've been considering putting 2 Boils in there.
Yeah? Strip mine, you reveal choke. Exactly.
Goodness
And
gracious.
Kevin, of course, hit his land.
And played out
so
a Kitchen Finks.
There's Finks.
I mean, at least he didn't get hit by Choke.
That's true.
So, that's a pretty big plus.
That's a
Does knock him
fair
down to
point.
11, still using this Leon and Arbiter. It might end up being okay because Derek is still stuck on 1 land after that Ghost Quarter. But I'm still a little bit perplexed. I think the style of this play is maybe okay right now, just because
So I
Derek is
think
having
that
such a
Derek needs to push this Arbiter now, just so that if Kevin draws a Ghost Quarter, He's not kind of, responding.
Because you can't respond to the Ghost Quarter itself. Yep.
Yep.
I have to agree that Kitchen Finks is going to be decent.
I don't know why you pump fake there. He knows you have an Ether Vial in your hand.
Pump fakes are pump fakes, and I think Kevin is more just doing it to exhibit proper play.
Sure, but
When you're on
knows
camera-
what you had in your hand.
Yeah, but when you're on camera, you got to put on the show. Knocks down to
What
8.
about being on candid camera?
Even more so.
So Derek's at 8. I know I'm pretty sure he has a Death Shadow in his hand. So he's going to be able to cast a Death Shadow this turn if he's got it. Am I wrong? It's right there between the...
That
blue
is a
card
Death
and
Shadow.
A Lingering Souls, right?
Death Shadow seems the intuitive play if Kevin's been sandbagging a
He hasn't been
tag zone.
sandbagging anything.
Well, he may have a path tag zone in hand.
He may have just drawn it off the top, but that's
It's the
where
only
he would have
option.
had to get it. So we're going to see Death Shadow as 5/5
Yep.
come down and say, "Yo, what up? How you doing?" That's,
Yeah, something like that.
That's my impression of what Death Shadow sounds like. It's
Question,
It's,
should
it's a New
Derek-
Yorker.
Should Derek have
Fetched in response to the activation.
Sorry, I'm still caught up on your New Yorker. It faltered me. I think I would have liked fetching in response to the Aether Vial Pump Fake, though, because if it is a Leonin Arbiter, you're out of luck.
Then you're just like, oh gosh.
And I think your game plan of what you're going to grab is known.
Yeah,
Like, I know what land I'm getting with a pretty high percentage.
most of the time.
Looks like we're going down to 7. It's probably a tapped land. Maybe it was to represent a Fatal Push, but I don't know for certain.
How you doing? Yeah, Death Shadow is just Joey from Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that.
I have watched significantly less Friends than I can quote. Like I've seen maybe like 5 episodes.
That's not very many episodes.
No, it's not.
That's like a small number of episodes.
Thanks, champ. Thoughtcast coming down. We're gonna get rid of an anger.
You mean
the
Thought
gods.
Scour?
Yes, I do mean Thought Scour.
I'm like, Thoughtcast, he doesn't have enough artifacts for that.
You can pretend. Mill 2, draw 1. It's the same as draw 2, right?
I mean, it's basically just Dark Ritual draw a card.
Yeah. We've got a 3/2 in the way.
Are you,
Turning
are
it
you,
sideways
are you
strikes me as
attacking?
usual play. You can.
Flicker Wisp.
Right now. Ooh.
Interesting that he's doing that. I might have Flicker Wisped out the Death Shadow
If-
and then just attacked.
Putting it down to 4. You've got.
And then you have a 3-power flyer.
I'm not sure if that's. I mean, it keeps Derek from wanting to attack, but that strikes me as a little bit dangerous. Maybe he has another Flicker Wisp in hand if he's willing to do this. Going for the pump fakes. Going for the pump fakes.
Why is there an H? Did I say H?
I don't know. It's fine. So, I actually do like the attack of just turning that one sideways for 3 quite a bit. It's a very similar game plan as last time, except you've got similar time, and now your blocking looks excellent. Because even with some removal spells, you'll still be fine. Derek does have the Lingering Souls, but no ability to cast it. A Fetch Shock gets into a dangerous position just for... I think it's the play that you might have to make.
Mm-hmm.
To go for the Lingering Souls. But it's a pretty dangerous play.
It's very dangerous.
Because you will be going down to 1 for this. Kevin might still be able to beat it, though.
Lingering Souls is usually pretty tough
Yep.
for a Death and Taxes deck to beat. What if Death Shadow is Joey from Friends? It had a rough start, then it got really popular, and then it got a spin-off, and then it disappeared. So that means Death Shadow will get banned. Hey, you never know. But if so, then yes, I totally called it.
Alright, so we've got a couple of these, and Derek down to 1 in game 2.
A War Turtle and a Blastoise.
Can Kevin reach across for 1 damage? A Restoration Angel comes down, flickers one of these. If he can... Actually,
Well,
he's
he
got 2
untaps it.
attackers.
That's game.
I think that's it. Restoration Flicker Wisp closes out the game. Kevin takes game 2. We see the power of flyers. Very effective. And also, the unmistakable power of Leonin Arbiter and Ghost Quarter. Shut down the game, dominated the entire early game, and allowed Kevin to allow that level of damage. And then later showed how the Flyers can be really effective against Derek's deck because it is mostly groundbound, except for that Lingering Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Well played by Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah, overall just a well-played game there. It helps that Derek did not hit a second land for several turns.
Well, he did.
And
He just
then-
got Ghost Quartered away.
No, that was his first land that got ghost squirted.
Yeah,
His second land never got ghost squirted.
I know. I'm saying, like, he had to. Cypher Mage, thanks for the follow.
I said he didn't hit his second
You're
land
getting
for
into
several
pedantics
turns.
again.
I am not getting into pedantics.
He had available 2 lands, one of them was killed.
I'm drinking Dasani.
Okay. Can you Pithing Needle Ghost Quarter? Absolutely, you can. So, Derek is going to be on the play in a deck with Thoughtseize, with Inquisition. Going to be quite powerful. Does have the option of getting out the second land before the Alone and Arbiter can come down. So it is going to be a pretty good way to get out this mana base and potentially build it up. You're not a big fan of the Grixis Shadow deck? Why not? You agree with Bryce on this one?
Thank
Why?
you. Thank you, because I was right. Bryce is right is like the price is right. It's just always good.
I mean, he had 2 lands and one of them was destroyed, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But he didn't hit the second land for several turns. He was on one land for many turns, is what I said.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood then.
Yeah. Jeez.
Okay, you hate Shadow decks and mid-deck. Okay, we're gonna touch on this for just a very short moment because I hate talking about bans. Thoughtseize right now. Do you take out the Rest in Peace or do you take out the Leon and Arbiter?
Probably Rest in Peace.
I probably agree.
You have
Fatal
removal
Push.
spells for Arbiters, so.
I will say that if they're going to ban Shadow, they're going to hit Shadow.
Yep, it
It
will
is-
be specifically Death Shadow.
It is
because
actually useless to hit Mishra's Bauble, and it is almost useless to hit Street Wraith.
Yep, and hitting Death Shadow, it's doing what they were afraid Wild Nakato was doing back when Wild Nakato got banned the first time.
It's a phenomenon. I think I heard that. Yeah,
McCall Sop.
Thank you so much. It's awesome having you here. Okay.
You would never watch Bryce is Right? But it's the best show ever. In my opinion.
Grixis really misses Goyf. Yeah, in a lot of ways. Jake Beardsley.
But it gets to play things that don't die to Fatal Push.
I think Blue-White Griftron is probably my 3rd favorite Tron deck. 4th favorite Tron deck. It's my 4th favorite Tron deck. Eldrazi Tron exists now.
Yeah. I was like Green X,
Yeah.
Blue, Eldrazi Tron.
Yeah.
Eldrazi Tron's probably like up here for me.
Granted, I'm not saying that it needs to be banned. I'm just saying if it does. You'd rather see Fatal Push. Fatal Push will
No,
not get banned.
that's
Fatal
not
Push.
going to get banned. That was printed specifically for Modern.
Fatal Push is the best thing to happen to Modern for a while, actually.
I be squishy!
And you shall be squishy, and you shall be mine. You shall be my squishy. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure having you here. You are great. 3 lands out for Kevin. Zwanny.
Swanee.
Thank you
Yep.
so much for hitting that follow button. It's a pleasure having you here. Welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. My name's TJ.
I'm Bryce.
And this is the Geek Fortress stream. I said it twice. Now it's thrice because this is the Geek Fortress
that
stream.
just makes it more nice.
Nice. 3 mana for Kevin. Derek's still on that 1 land. He's going to go for a Thoughtscour here.
Mills 2 lands and draws a land. Got there.
Classics. Going down to 13. Also good news for this deck. 12 would be preferable, but you don't really get a whole lot of choice here.
And Gurmag Angler. We're going to see a 5/5.
Yeah, but if Kevin hasn't been playing threats, what do we have to have in hand?
Well, we know that he had 2 Flicker Wisps that he has done nothing with.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, like, his hand when the Thoughtseize happened was Rest in Peace, Arbiter, Flicker Wisp, 3 lands.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what he's drawn since because the Rest in Peace got taken and the Arbiter got Fatal Pushed.
Yeah, maybe just not doing anything doesn't feel good. 4 lands now, and we might just
Horizon
Flicker
Canopy.
this. Oh, okay. Kitchen Finks come down. We're going to go up to 22. It's actually a pretty reasonable blocker against this.
Wrong person.
My bad. 22 is a pretty reasonable place to be. Make blue great again? Blue's fine.
Well, here's another Thoughtseize. It's going to take one of the 2 Flicker Wisps.
Yep. Burn.
What is my favorite modern deck that uses red? Does that Nauseam count? Or like
No.
Titan Shift / Breach Titan?
So we are getting in with the Gurmag
Yeah.
Angler, offering the trade. Well, not the trades per
It's not
se,
a
but
trade.
offering the chump block to him.
Yeah, you can go to 24. That's
Sure.
fine.
It seems like an ineffective attack, but you're down to also 2-1, and it makes your fatal pushes look a lot better. Plus, it means that multiple attacks with this this Death Shadow look a lot better. Keep in mind that we've got an Anger of the Gods in hand, but no red sources whatsoever, so it's going to take 2 lands for Derek to be able to cast that at any point. Kevin just passes back. We do have the Flicker Wisp in hand. I'm a little bit surprised that he's not resetting the Kitchen Finks. Seems like actually one of the more reasonable plays right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I'm expecting out of this turn. Might just use the Gavany Township instead. It's functional. It's similar functionally, but I think I'd like
It's
to use
close to
that
the
next
same.
turn
Well, there's a Flicker Wisp.
because you can reset this now, then you
Yep.
block with it again, and then you just start going for this on a each turn basis, and maybe you even double block this this Death Shadow if it gets in. Note that Derek is going to be casting 2 Death Shadows this coming turn. Okay. Yep.
Yep. Death Shadow, go.
Can you beat this? The Kitchen Finks is going to be a good engine, but
Is it like a jet engine?
mm-hmm.
Or is it more like a Ford Super Duty?
I think it's a lot closer to a Ford Super Duty.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Derek's has got the jet engine going on with multiple Death Shadows. I think Kevin's sitting in there with something that's super consistent.
Sure, attack me for 3.
In Fair Magic, it'd be definitely there.
Now I have 3 5/5s. 4 5/5s.
Man, everybody's jumping into the conversation that's so repeated and largely wrong.
Sure, Thalia.
Thalia's great. Thalia's great, and it's actually not bad on this board. Making him pay 2 for that Serum Visions is pretty good. It also means that even if he draws a land here, he's not going to have a whole lot of access to actually casting spells.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did draw land, but he can't fetch because of Leonin Arbiter. Now, he could leave back a pair of 5/5s and attack with 2 of his 5/5s.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is fine.
I would just start bashing with a 5/5. God no.
I'd probably send 2 of them.
The Gravity Township is throwing off the math a little bit, actually.
It is slightly.
It's a little bit problematic. It's actually because attacking in doesn't feel good because he just blocks with the Kitchen Finks, takes some damage, but then you start looking at a board that's going to keep building up. You've got a first striking 3/1, which can outclass all those Death Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the 3/1, which will trade with one of your Death Shadows. You've got a Leonin Arbiter, which can get in front of the Gurmag Angler relatively easily if you wanted to. Otherwise, you can just double block some other stuff. Yeah. I think you are all wildly overestimating how bad blue is, by the way. Just to touch base on that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean this in the kindest way possible. So please forgive me if this comes across harsh. What modern blue players are experiencing is the fact that they are not nearly as spoiled as they are in every other format.
That's not standard.
No one is spoiled in Standard.
That's true. You make a fair point.
But like, Merfolk, Nightfall, Ad Nauseam, Bant, Blue-Red Storm, Grixis, Death Shadow, Bug, and Esper Death Shadow.
Grixis and Blue-White are both being played a lot right now.
Various, like, Grixis Control is particularly popular.
It's Harry.
What's up, Harry?
I just got here. I just wanted to.
Hi, Harry.
I'm just checking on you guys. Make sure you don't need help.
Okay. Good to see you.
Okay. I can't not drop things
That
in
was
here.
your phone.
Alright, so... ooh, we've got some removal kicking it in the house.
It's a Path to Exile, which seems fine.
Mr. Lifeguard, the green players have to be playing standard in order for them to be spoiled, which makes them inherently not spoiled.
That's true.
Forgot taking turns, true.
Yeah, that's not a deck.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I want to avoid this conversation so badly, but we could talk about how red is only in 4 decks, in which they're all splashed for in that same like top tier decks.
Yeah.
We could talk about how black is in black is the best color in Modern right now. And
Black
it's
is the best
still
color,
feature
followed
in
by
only like
green.
3 decks. Green is only featured in 4 decks. Like, saying that a deck isn't mono blue,
Looks like Derek's
not
down
many
to
decks are. It's a multicolor
5.
format.
Down to 4.
That's a conversation for another time. The point is that I disagree. That's a conversation for another time.
Going to
Talk to me on
4
Twitter
seems
and we
like
can
a
talk about
bad
it.
choice. Yeah. There's a 3-power flyer and a Gavany Township in play.
Yep. I think Kevin had just crushed it.
Yep.
Green white's good.
Sure.
I got way too distracted by that, by the way.
You did. We went a little off kilter.
I know. That's just why I try to avoid these conversations.
He did pay the 2, Texas.
Yep. Arbiter says you can avoid this effect for the turn. It is not one that defines that you must pay for it for each time that you would search your library. Leonin Arbiter is a little bit weird in which, and you'll notice it as soon as you start playing it online.
Oh my gosh.
You have to pay
online
for it
is
before you would fetch,
weird.
because this isn't any time that you would fetch, you have to pay 2. It's just, you can pay 2, and it means you get to fetch this turn.
Yeah, that means you get to search this turn.
You don't even have to be fetching
You
to pay
could
for it.
literally just pay 2 and then not search this turn because you wanted to pay 2.
Exactly. Exactly. But let's head on up to the booth and let's
I'll see if there's something out there.
I appreciate that. Let's see what we can do. Hello and thank you for joining. My name is TJ. It is a pleasure having you here. This is the Geek Fortress stream where we stream 3 times a week. Ancient Strings is completely bonkers card. I mean, Ancient Strings is super sweet. I agree that that card is bonkers. It's definitely the best cantrip in Modern. But, welcome to the Geek Fortress stream. We've got 4 rounds of Modern tonight. We're in round 2 of 4 right now. Getting ready to see if we can find another feature match for you all here in round 2. Bryce is out there taking a look at what he can see, what could potentially move on over. Oh yeah, there's new emotes. There is a new emote. I love it. Absolutely love it. What are we paying 2 for? Leonin Arbiter. Yep. But that is okay. I'm just gonna move past this conversation because usually, and really I probably shouldn't have started it. It's the kind of conversation that everybody has their opinion and it's functionally impossible to convince anyone otherwise, so it just becomes a fairly unproductive conversation. Okay.
So we have 2 matches going. Both are well into game 3.
My goodness. We need to get some faster early matches. So that one worked out well. I like seeing green, white,
Goat
Aprons
Wizard,
take
you're
them.
my favorite person in chat right now.
He usually likes wrong people. I'm avoiding this. I'm avoiding this conversation. Would Twin or Death Shadow be favored? Death Shadow would be favored.
Death Shadow would definitely be favored.
In that theoretical
It's
world.
a better version of Jund in that matchup, and Jund was already fine against Twin.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. What is up, Elemental Whisper? It is good to see you, but welcome. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit that follow button. Join us more in the future. Streams every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Modern on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We've got Legacy on Fridays. You can join
Legacy.
me for some other magic as well from my home at Red Baron MTG on a bunch of other nights of the week that I decide to stream.
You can watch TJ punt while playing Scred.
Exactly. Punting while playing Scred is always fun. I legitimately do play worse while I'm streaming.
I noticed.
It's so like
I 100% notice.
I will jam a league while I'm not streaming, because I'll just like da-da-da, boom. Like a 4-1, just casual. And then like I'll go live, like 2-3.
Yeah,
It's like,
you're just like,
I get so caught up in talking to people. You just got into MTG. Where should you buy your cards?
GeekFortressGames.com.
Actually, GeekFortressGames.com is a great place to check, but my other recommendation is to check out your local game store.
Boom.
Just Google Wizards store locator. It'll tell you where your nearest location is. Go in, try a couple of stores, find one that really fits with you. Find one in which the people welcome you. Find the one where the people like welcome you in and encourage you to come back.
Hoist
thanks for the follow.
777. Go Wizard. As much as I want to see Twin come back, it's barely been gone for a year. I don't think it'll come back yet.
It's also not. I don't have this conversation. Nope.
I know.
Punting while playing Scred is the next nerd country rock hit. Yeah, I like that. I would do that. I would do that. Okay. You went to the Wizard store via the Wizard store locator, and there are no wizards there, just nerds playing Magic. Who won that last matchup? That would be Kevin on green-white. Hate Bears, taking it down in 3. Green-white actually decent against these Death Shadow decks. You have Path to Exile, which is very effective against taking down creatures of any size. Plus, just the value of some of those cards is really good, and the flying pretty potent.
Yep, you have a decent ability to close the game quickly with flyers.
Also, in a mana base that is so loose as a Grixis deck, which is trying to run 18 lands, while also running only like
Bruce
5
Sterling,
fetchables.
thank you for that.
Bruce Sterling, thank you. So 6 fetchable lands out of 18 lands, and then you start looking at, and then you start looking at the idea that they're also trying to splash a 4th color, means that once you can start attacking that mana base, it goes decently well if you can do it early. If it happens on Monday, sure. Don't make that bet. Well, A, I won't follow up on it because I don't feel like it. And B, because, I don't know.
Hey, if it happens on Monday, I'm more than happy to put back together Twin.
I will happily discuss bans and unbans as they happen in a logical sense, but everything else is speculation when nobody actually knows the answer. And it usually just ends up with people ingrained in their own opinions with no capacity to convince each other otherwise.
So, Nyoko, it seems like Burn would be great in a Death Shadow meta, but you're just powering up their Death Shadows. And then they smack you real hard.
If you know how to play the Death Shadow matchup, it becomes 50-50 against Jund.
The Jund Death Shadow really is probably very good against
Death
Burn.
Shadow is actually pretty good against Burn. And I think in the general amount, it's probably favored against like an average player versus an average player because Death Shadow doesn't need to change its game plan too much, whereas Burn needs to change its game plan a lot. Basically, you hope that they're on the Death Shadow game plan, and then you hoard your Burn spells as soon as they get close and try and do an end step bolt, untap bolt, to let them deal 12 damage.
Your plan is to just kill them within the span of one turn.
Yes.
So that they are not attacking you for 1,000,000.
Unfortunately, this entire plan also folds pretty hard to a Tarmogoyf.
Yeah. Yep, Goyf pretty good.
So the matchup is probably 50-50, slightly favored if you know the matchup really well, or favored for the player who knows the matchup really well. But
if you're both on even footing, Death Shadow is favored.
Yeah, I think so. I think even footing is, and it's not like a deep favor. It's close.
Like the games still play out pretty closely, but Death Shadow is typically favored.
It's a weird matchup though.
It's definitely weird.
It's super weird to play. Actually, I completely agree with all of those.
That's pretty close to exactly on, Doro.
I would agree with everything that you just said, Doro. I might say that Vintage would be blue, only because, like, once you... no, but the artifacts are the biggest defining factor. It's colorless. It's colorless. I was like, they're casting blue spells? Yeah, but with, like, 8 artifacts. Oh, okay, so maybe it is the artifacts.
There's a reason that Stony Silence is a fantastic
main deck card?
Vintage card.
Main deck it all the time.
Well, it's good against all the artifacts, as well as the fact that it doesn't get hit by the artifact hate.
Yep. It is the artifact hate.
Well, it doesn't get hit by, like, shatters and that kind of thing.
You're right, Yup, it's Chris. So, at one point, people people have always joked around that Tarmogoyf is actually a blue.
Tarmogoyf is the best blue creature printed.
Would you like to explain
Other than
why?
Snapcaster Mage.
It was actually said that was actually the statement before Snapcaster was
Yeah,
printed.
exactly. So the reason that Tarmogoyf is a blue creature was it was played in a bunch of the blue tempo decks like Rug Delver and those kind of things. BitBite999.
Thank you so much for the sub. You're amazing. That's awesome. That brings us up to 146 subs. Think we can get to 150 tonight?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, so it's basically because it was played in all of the blue like tempo decks, and so it was basically considered a blue creature. Hey, we're happy to have you, BitBite, whenever you can.
BitBite, don't you worry. Every time I mention it, or at least most of the times I mention it, I say, you know what, if you do want to help support this stream and what we're doing, which is trying to stream some Magic from a local game store, have some fun with it, and do cool things, and try... We're actually looking into... it seems like a reasonable time to, like... We'll tease the waters a little bit. We'll stir the waters a little bit. We are investigating creating basically a Geek Fortress tournament series.
Ooh, yeah.
Within the store that would be based on the stream kind of supporting it. Anyway, and some of the sub money would go towards like supporting the stream and making cool prize pools and doing cool rewards and things like that. The point being that when you sub, it helps us out a lot. Now, if you have the means and the inclination to do so, we hugely appreciate it. But at the end of the day, we also just hugely appreciate that you're all here with us. And that means a lot to us. Is this Project X? Nope. Project X is actually not stream or Magic related. Project X,
something else in his life.
Project X was a life thing that basically appeared on Monday, had 1 week of my attention that I could give to it, and I gave one. I basically was at work, and then I worked for 20 hours on this. Every day I worked minimum 5 hours on it after work, and it was miserable.
But you got it done?
You might have to refresh your page, BitBite. But I got it done.
Got it done.
And I'll keep you updated as it continues. Okay. Exactly.
Background is the Eternal Masters control magic.
Yes. How are we, TJ and Bryce?
Ooh, round 3.
Round 3. How are we? We're good.
Round 3. How are you doing?
Is anyone else excited for the pre-release? I'm excited, and I'm not excited for the pre-release. Pre-releases, very exciting. Not excited because I don't get to stream Modern that night, which I'm pretty disappointed about. But I'm also pretty excited because this coming Saturday is my birthday. So, that's exciting to me. So on the Amonkhet pre-release, there will not be a Modern stream, which makes me sad. But there will be an Amonkhet pre-release. And it will be my birthday. So, hey, what's up, Eruk Snafu? Am I going to GP Vegas? Yes, I am. Go down to Magic Egypt and punch an Elder Dragon. Thank you. Your birthday is tomorrow? Happy birthday, BitBite. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. Yay, yay. What cards am I getting for my birthday? None that I know of. My birthday is April 22nd? Yes, it is. My birthday is April 22nd. Really, Zephoid? That's interesting, because I actually think that Amonkhet is one of the sets that I've been most excited for for a long time. Thanks, everybody. That's super nice of you.
Alright, I got us a fun one.
How old will TJ be? TJ will be turning 25.
Ooh, quarter century. You'll get to join the quarter century club.
Yep.
So, facing the wall is Mason.
Mason! On the Naya midrange?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
And he's playing against Coleman.
What deck is Coleman on tonight?
Coleman is on a deck that I just recently bashed in here, taking turns.
Sweet. Okay. Interesting. I think I'm going to give this one to Taken Turns.
He just lost last round to Burn.
Well, yeah, Burns is the actual worst matchup. Almost a
Followed
third of
by,
my
like,
life.
Jund, right?
Almost a third of my life gone. I'd say I've got 2/3 of my life to go.
Just put bonfire for Masons. It's the correct choice.
It is the correct choice. Okay, and let's do that. Sorry, we're just doing a little bit of. If you just, we're doing a little bit of prep work here, which is apparently there we go.
Boom.
Okay, and then I've got a little bit more prep work to do
Oh, you have
here.
to get that ready to go just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, taking turns is sweet, actually. The deck is super cool. The deck is gloriously nice. Time's a ticking. Indeed, it is. Let's do that. Sorry, I just got a couple of things.
Just have a few things to set up. And I made sure that Coleman knew that I would tell him when he was good to go.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was like, I didn't think I needed to iterate that to people, but apparently I do.
Well, yeah. Forget, we'll just do this. Oh, wait, I know what it is.
It's lots of bees.
There we go. There we go. And it is here. Okay. So, let's head on down to the field and get ready for round 3. We'll see you there.
Whew.
Alright, so these players are... You've missed up these emotes. Man, the emotes are fun. Whose birthday? My birthday's on Saturday.
On Saturday?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, we've got Coleman versus Mason, the Naya mid-range, which is always cool. It's running some Challenges, it's running some Smiters. It used to be a Zoo, and then it just started growing up a little bit. Kept getting a bigger version because that's what Mason enjoys doing. Coleman on Taken Turns, a deck based around taking a lot of Time Warps together. It's going to be using Dictate of Krufix, the card that allows you to draw multiple cards at your draw step with Flash, and Howling Mind to make sure that you can actually continue casting these.
Lord Nex.
Lord Nex, thank you so much.
All the subbing.
That's amazing.
Subbing for all the subbins. Sub.
I will say that on SAP, for being a third through my life, I am so much more successful at the things that I'm trying to do than I expected.
You're only expecting to get to 75?
Well, that's for the term that they said. We were born on the same day, same year. That's awesome, Jacopup. Happy birthday. So, we've got a Kazali Pride Mage coming down. That's actually going to be a really good tool against that Dictate of Krufix that Coleman just drew into. I will say this, if you all want to give me one present, which I'm not asking that you must, so please don't take it as this. But if you're thinking to yourself, how can I celebrate this with TJ? I mean, there is a super sweet sub button. Or you can come join me whenever I stream my channel. And we're going to attack Coleman, indicating that he's...
Four, obviously.
Who's going to fall down to
4.
16.
You're dead.
Coleman's deck is crazy. Already took 3 turns.
Alright, drawing a card.
That's an exhaustion. Coleman's
What
Dictate
did
looks
he
real bad here.
cast? Oh, he... Never mind.
No, he used the land.
activated,
Each player
yeah.
draws a card.
Ooh, Coleman did not hit his 4th land, though.
Yeah, Coleman's in trouble. A
And
lightning bolt
your
at the end
face.
step. I like that this is at the end step
the
so that
bolt.
the exhaustion's still not effective. He's going to be falling down to 9 here. Next.
It's not a bonfire. Darn it.
Darn it.
So ready to go a Johnny. Sure.
Coleman is about to...
You know, it's awkward.
I think
A
that was the
Johnny
wrong
can
play.
plus on one of Coleman's lands, and if he activates to draw a card, it will not tap.
Actually, he's just going to play the Dictate. He's not going to activate to draw a card. Okay.
Well, is a Johnny plussing or did he minus?
What's the win condition
A Johnny
for...
minused.
What's the win condition for taking turns? Yeah, Johnny always minuses there.
Oh, miracle! Miracle it! Miracle! Hallelujah!
That's pretty good. So Coleman plays out the Dictate, putting it pretty
draws
impressively
that.
up on
Okay.
the board. But,
So a Johnny should have a loyalty counter on him.
yeah, somewhere on there. So the win condition...
loyalty counter on a Johnny? Thank you.
So the win condition for taking turns is to use part the Water Veil on one of these creatures to attack multiple times out of the sideboard. He also does have Thing in the Ice.
Coleman still didn't hit a land.
No. Coleman's actually in trouble, though he is going to fire off this Exhaustion.
He can fire off exhaustion, or he can risk it for the biscuit and cast Serum Visions.
Now,
but
slightly risky
we're going to
play
cast
here.
Exhaustion instead.
Casting the Exhaustion means that the next turn he is going to be at a maximum of 3 mana, because even if he hits his land drop, one of these is likely unable to untap with the Ajani Blessing on it. But Mason doesn't really get a turn here.
BitBite with the donation. That's awesome.
I didn't say BitBite.
where
Thank
you're
you
wrong,
so much for
kiddo.
the donation. That's so kind of you. I didn't mean it to sound like that. I was just... I didn't mean it to sound like that.
Wrong, kiddo.
I was just being suggestive.
You were being suggestive. Huh?
Yeah, we did hit the land. We are going to play out another land after we draw some cards, and we are going to cast a Serum Visions. But thank you so much, BitBite. That was so kind of you. Mason hasn't drawn 2 from Dictate. He may have been. I couldn't say for certain.
I
Jace player.
don't think he has been.
Oh, is it possible that he's missing that?
Yep.
That's unfortunate. He probably doesn't need it, though. So Coleman is probably just going to pass it back. We do have an Exhaustion at the top and a Serum Visions. And it looks like he is...
just dead on board.
Yes.
Oh, no, he
Oh, that was end step.
got to Temporal Mastery. He
Oh,
miracled
that's
the
right.
Temporal Mastery.
That's right.
All right, he's got a Time Warp. Here we go.
Are we going to make it happen? We do have an Exhaustion, so
Here
that's
we
a
go,
big...
here we go, here we go again.
Okay, go, apparently. So another land, we do have the Exhaustion, so we can make it to even when Mason untaps, he will not be able to go for that.
Yep, we're going to see a Serum Visions. Dream of a stream full of kiddo.
And... I could not see... How many decks does Coleman own? He basically just has a bunch of cards and puts them together whenever he feels like it. He's got a bunch of cards, not a bunch of decks. Like all the different Obzon, he's got basically a green-white horde of cards.
Pretty much.
But most of his decks, he'll come out here and then build it in like the half hour before the
Yep, and things that he doesn't
Turn.
have, he just goes, hey, does anybody have this that I can borrow? And we're like, yeah, here you go. Here you go.
Baral. Now this is a new card in the deck.
Ooh, and Exhaustion.
That Baral is brand new. Let's bring that card up. Assuming that we have it in here.
And Elixir. Alright, go ahead. So this Ajani will not be able to minus to hit Coleman. It can minus to hit Coleman's face, or it can kill the Baral if it wants, or it can just plus up again.
Yeah.
And Coleman reminds him of his...
So he does get the draw off of this. Mason still not going for this. Doesn't get to untap. Do you plus on the land, or do you put Coleman down to 3? Or do you take out the Baral?
So what Mason doesn't know is that Coleman has another Temporal Mastery in his hand. And so killing the Baral puts him off of that Temporal Mastery.
It does mean that he needs to draw into something else or use that. I think I see a Part the Water Veil in there. Yep.
So Mason's up to 21 with that.
It means that he may have to end up using the Part the Water Veil, however.
Well, he just drew a land. Never
2
mind.
lands, actually.
Yep, we're gonna get going.
Hooray!
Here we go. Back on track. Bloop.
Draw a couple of cards. He can shuffle this back in. A lot of Temporal Masteries getting cast here. And we're going to find a Serum Visions, and we are getting to the point of...
Serum Visions has to walk the Eons. We are off and running. Both these lands to the bottom. Here we go.
He uses the white bordered islands so that he can recognize them as he draws them better. By the way. He also
And
just likes white
gain
bordered
2
lands.
life.
Radiant Fountain is one of the reasons why I've lost to this deck with Burn. Fun fact. So Walk the Eons getting cast here. Not going to flash it back. Looking to shuffle it back in eventually. And just keeping all the lands. But he's getting close to running out at this point. I think he needs to hit one this turn. No, he's still got the Temporal Mastery, right?
And he's got a Cryptic Command now.
Yep. Cryptic Command does buy him a turn. And it looks like he is going to put it onto the Radiant Fountain.
Here we
and
go.
attack for
Radiant
6.
Fountain on lock. So Mason's at 21. So this is still a big hill for this 6/6 to climb.
Coleman's got to draw gas here. Don't think he did.
Attack for 6.
Down to 9.
3 mana. Exhaustion you. Go. Alright, and he's going to be able to cast 2 Dictates and Mason's end step.
And has another Exhaustion.
Ooh. Wow.
Coleman
So-
got to cast all 4 Exhaustions.
Mason
this
draws
game.
both. Yeah, this...
Exhaustion is how this deck wins. Surprisingly, Exhaustion and Giga Draws are actually just the best cards in this deck. They are the entire reason why the deck exists. Exhaustion is just huge.
Ooh, a tapped land.
Classic. He does have the Lightning Bolt in hand, so would it have been... No, I guess the Radiant Fountain, but he could have minused.
He could have minused at Coleman's face.
Yep. But he'd be at 5 at this point.
This game is exhausting.
That was funny. Coleman's gonna just start drawing all the cards.
Oh, he's looking at his graveyard right
Yep.
now.
I think he's deciding what's gonna get shuffled back in. But overall, I think Coleman has gotten this game won.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed an... I think... Okay. I think I missed a bit of... Oh, no, I just marked the damage too much or
Yeah,
something.
he's at 13.
Yeah. I think I marked too much damage.
And pass his turn. End step. Okay, Noxious Revival. What did that buy back?
Noxious Revival, I think, got him back... Oh, wait. No, he doesn't have Temporal Mastery in there. Probably just a Time Warp. Or the Temporal Trespass.
Well, I think he cast it to try to put something on top of Coleman's deck to cut him off of a card or something. I don't know. Snapcaster Mage. Cast this
Oh no, he
Time
just had
Warp.
to discard.
Oh, he
That was just
discarded it. Okay. And I'll attack you for 8.
Oh no, the
You'll
Stormbreath
be
has a
dead.
discard. He put a Serum Visions on top. Why? That seems bad.
Because he wanted to.
Alright, so Coleman's going to take a win.
Yep, indeed.
Enough taking it, but Coleman took all the turns, bashed in there. That's a mainboard Noxious Revival. Do you want to talk about that at all?
So Mason is playing a main deck Noxious Revival.
Is it just for the
It
bonfire?
is purely to put Bonfire of the Damned back on top of his library. Hey, Dolphins 3D. Thanks for hitting that follow button. You're a rock star. Gotcha.
Thank you so much. It's awesome having you here. That was Ancestral that he put on top.
Okay.
And maybe
That's
it was just because the card's dead and he was trying to get him to not draw an extra, extra turn spell. And cutting it off by 33% seems somewhat reasonable. But thank you so much, Dolphin 3D. It's a pleasure having you here. I have thought to myself before, what is this stream missing? Potentially dolphins. I haven't actually really encountered a dolphin before, but I've always wondered. And I've always thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if dolphins were, you know, a better football team? Well, what if they were just cool animals? And they are. But thanks for being here. It's a pleasure having you here as a part of our stream, and I look forward to seeing you more in the future. Anybody else here in the world, in the stream, in the chat, wherever you are, whenever you are, thank you so much for being here. My name is TJ.
And I'm Bryce.
And truly from the bottom of our hearts, this stream is something that we have a lot of fun doing. It's something that we have done a lot to grow over the course of a little bit over a year and a half. And it's just such an incredible experience that we get to have interacting with all of you. So thank you for being here. It means the world to us, and this stream is just as much a product of your efforts and your vision and your support than it is of our own ideas and our own, you know, drive. So thank you for being a part of this stream, because this would not exist potentially at all, and certainly to the level that it does, without your continuing support. And that means a lot to us.
A stream wouldn't be complete without a hashtag SappyTJ moment.
Yep. You looked at the clip, it was a Serum Visions? Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Thank you, Tacos. So, thank you, everybody.
Someone asked, how do we feel about Blue-Red Delver in Modern? I think Blue-Red Delver is just worse than Grixis Delver. And if you're going to play Grixis Delver, you should just play Grixis Death Shadow. So just play Grixis Death Shadow. That's my answer.
I think it's hard to argue that any Delver is right now better than a Death Shadow. But my thoughts on Delver in general is that I think that Delver is the worst card in its deck, but that Insectile Aberration is the best card in its deck. And I feel like it's just, you never quite know if you're going to have the best or the worst on turn 2.
Yep.
And when you do transform it on turn 2, it is one of the, you know, you're pretty favored at that point because you're doing your exact game plan. But when you don't, the deck takes a pretty significant hit. So I think the deck has got a lot of potential, but I wish it was just a little bit more consistent. But at the same time, I know that the pieces that would make it more consistent, I don't actually want. That is true. Our players are pretty amazing.
What do we think is the best Primeval Titan deck? Titan Shift or Breach Titan? I think they're just better than the Amulet Titan deck.
Yes. What's the best spell-based deck in Modern? A Gift Store, Ad Nauseam. I think Ad
It's Ad
Nauseam.
Nauseam.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Yep. Until Delver gets good cantrips.
You like the new Black Delver?
I don't know. I think what Delver needs is a better thing. It needs a draw spell, not a cantrip. Like, well, we saw what Treasure Cruise did. And that was just Treasure Cruise. That wasn't because it had a, like, yes, you could argue that it's a cantrip, but it wasn't really a cantrip. It was just a draw spell. Like, it wasn't a turn 1 cantrip play. You know? So, I don't know.
Easy solution, replace all Delvers with Insectile Aberration. That's true.
So, we've got a Serum Visions. Putting one on top, one on bottom by the look of it. We also do have an Echoing Truth. Probably just getting that as an option to take down any potentially problematic cards. Against someone like Mason, you never know what he's going to have up his sleeve.
Against Mason, I sit down and I'm like, well, I know it's like a Naya deck, and it's going to be Zoo-ish.
So what card have I never heard of in Naya colors that I have to play around today?
That's exactly it. It's like, so what am I going... What's going to be cast against me here?
What niche card am I going to get blown out by today? Scavenging Ooze is apparently the pick at the moment. Another Serum Visions. Coleman not playing his second land yet. Maybe seeing what he draws before he...
Well,
and I
he
think
drew a land.
that worked out quite
And then
well.
it's Radiant Fountain, Cryptic Command. I think you keep both those.
I think
He's got 2 more islands. And then he can just cast Cryptic Command, and that sounds lovely.
Well, we've also actually got a Baral coming down this turn. Oh, no, we don't.
No.
Because he used it
Or
for the...
no, is that a Gaia Reach Sanitarium? Not a Radiant Fountain?
Ah, God.
Taxi915, thanks for that follow button.
Thank you for the follow. It's a pleasure having you here.
It's very possible that was a Gaia Reach Sanitarium.
I think it's likely that he's running one. He loves that card.
I'd be very happy to see the Can't Lose Sanitarium in play.
Mm-hmm.
Event 1 with Ultra Pro Eclipse sleeves done. 3-0'd the event. Love the sleeves. Perfect. I love those sleeves as well.
The sleeves are pretty great. Lands in front? I don't see any lands in front.
He doesn't have Lance in front.
What ability of Bow of Nylea? Actually, I agree. Bow of Nylea is actually one of my favorite cards that isn't played much.
He...
Casts a Traverse the Ulvenwald.
I have seen Mason play Bow of Nylea.
Oh, yeah. I've suggested it to him. I think that card... like, it's actually one of my favorite cards.
That card's actually okay.
I think it's one of my favorite cards that's not played in Modern. Blue-Red Prowess is, I think,
Baral.
playable, but that one's not... that is not Delver. It doesn't even run Delver.
So, Mason cast a Traverse the Ulvenwald for a basic.
Yep. That's all that you get.
Nice.
Otherwise, Coleman with a Baral at the moment.
Not your survival might Traverse the Ulvenwald.
What an unusual choice.
He really wants to hit his lands.
I guess.
Johnny.
Kill Baral.
Shoot your barrel.
Alright, and it looks like we're going to do a barrel roll straight to the graveyard.
Maybe. He might not. He might plus.
I think it's unlikely.
It's a minus.
Yeah. Plussing is actually functionally the same. They both restrict a mana.
So, will Coleman Echoing Truth his own Baral?
I don't... I guess?
Yep, he will.
Is that worth it, though? I'm not certain.
Coleman seems to think so.
Coleman seems to think so. It's probably because on this board he doesn't have a whole lot else to do with the Echoing Truth. He hasn't hit any of those hate cards that he's really worried about at the moment. And it just allows him to play it down the line as he starts getting a little bit more constrained on mana or gives him a play. Now he's all aboard the Cryptic Command game plan.
Cryptic Command! So what was that about blue not being played, people? Mono blue deck.
Now you're just inviting it. So we're going to plus it up on that island. Remember that
Plus
it
it
isn't
up
going to
on
untap.
plus
If
it.
Coleman actually tries to cast this Cryptic Command, he is going to run into an issue
This is true.
of not having access to one of those mana sources.
Oh, we're going to activate with not that island.
Yep, we're taking a look to see what the mana base is. Mason with 5 mana available. What could we be holding off for? Because Mason would normally cast a spell.
It is Can't Lose Sanitarium.
It is the Gaia Reach
Can't Lose
Sanitarium.
Sanitarium.
I like that card a lot.
I'm very happy to see that.
A Serum Visions from Coleman, still keeping up the 4 mana. Does not have a Cryptic Command available. Does not
true.
have the triple blue available.
But he can
I think
activate or he can activate either one of his lands.
I think he played his land too soon, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't end up drawing into an island, I don't believe. I think that's, I don't think that's an island at the back.
No, I think it's an exhaustion.
But I think that he played his land, because if he was going to Serum Visions, if he had drawn into an island, I think that would have been the
Yeah, you
better
probably want to do
play.
that. So it
Here-
looks like he kept the Howling Mine on top.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, does have
All right, Mason.
Snapcaster, Echoing Truth available to him
Let's
right
get
now.
a bonfire. Come on, I'm feeling bonfire right now.
I would
Feeling
love
bonfire.
a bonfire.
Just bonfire for horror.
I would-
really get him.
I would love a bonfire. God, I love bonfire.
Oh, exile all 3 of those Serum Visions.
Snapcaster looks worse now.
It wasn't bonfire.
Nope, not this time. We're just gonna go for it again. Plussing doesn't seem to be what we're into. We're gonna knock him down to 11, and we're gonna go up to 19.
Ooh,
That's a great draw.
it's a great draw.
If you can keep a mana up to be able to take down a Dictate of Krufix, one way that you beat this Taken Turns deck is it's really an effective strategy to hate
Bolt your
out
face, attack you for 2.
the Dictate of Krufix, as well as the Howling Mine. With 4 Dictates and 2 Howling Mines, there's 6 of that effect, and they 100% need it to go off.
That's true. So this turn, Coleman can cast Howling Mine, cast Baral, and have up a 1 and a blue spell if he's got something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does have a Howling Mine. I like Howling Mine.
So casting a Howling Mine incentivizes Mason to try to kill it.
Which, realistically, is probably just the right play.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Coleman wants that, which
So
is why he
casting
probably
Howling
played.
Mine incentivizes Mason to either kill it or go after the elixir if Coleman deploys his Baral as well.
I think I still take out the card draw.
Yeah.
I think I wait until my
And
turn and then
Coleman
cast the
just
card draw.
passes. He's going to keep up this Cryptic.
Yep. Cryptic is the name of the game right now. The attack is going to be for 4 as opposed to the... I like Mason's play here, recognizing that by attacking with 1 creature, the Exalted really just gets you 1 extra damage. It looks like we're going to cast this,
Bounce that and draw a card.
and we have...
That's interesting. And that means Coleman doesn't get to draw a card either.
Correct.
It was a solid move by Mason.
Down to 6 here. Keeps from drawing a card. It does mean that this Howling Mine is going to be a little bit effective, but Mason's got free reign here to also drop a pretty big card. He
Oh,
needs
traverse.
to watch out.
Creature, Planeswalker, instant land. He's got 4 types.
Yes, he needs to watch out for exhaustion, however.
Yeah.
An untapped creature is going to be pretty important.
Get Renegade Rally or get back Kasali Pride Mage.
Actually, that looks fine because you're attacking for 4, if nothing else. That seems
I mean, you
actually
just attack for
excellent.
5. You attack with both of them. Even
That
if you
too.
get exhaustion, you just attack for 5.
Yeah, that actually looks excellent.
That's brilliant. And Cryptic Command. Never mind. Cryptic's just like, yo, I'm
But that
here.
means that
and
Coleman
I'm-
can't exhaustion. And if
That's
Coleman's
true.
going to start doing that stuff, remember that Mason will still have access to this Kazali Pride Mage.
He is going to exhaustion. That's interesting.
I think 1 is not dead, and I think that's his
Exhaustion,
mentality.
cast this, go.
If Mason's got a land in his hand, he can hate
Draw
that
2
out.
cards.
Yeah, land Lightning Bolt is enough as well. That's a Dramoka's command, a Huntmaster, a Helix, a Path,
He's got
and
a Chandra. No, he doesn't have it.
My goodness.
Oh, man. Coleman's going to go to 1.
So for my birthday, you're having homemade chicken fettuccine Alfredo. Let me ask you a question. What's TJ's favorite food in the world?
Chicken Alfredo.
Chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Jackal Pup? I feel like we need to have birthday dinner together. Your question for you: do you need to add a Tybalt to the recipe to perfect it? You
Most
don't
definitely.
need to add a Tybalt. However, if you feel like you want to have any dignity whatsoever in your pasta game, then yes.
Jeez. Wow. Just got crazy up in here. Baral attack.
The old gotcha.
And he has Temporal Mastery, so we're gonna do the Time Warp again. Or we can just Snapcaster.
Alright, so Coleman's
Time
going to take
warp.
a step to the left. Alright, and it looks
It's
like
a jump to the left
oh,
and a
is it-
step to the right.
That does look a bit more like a jump, actually. Yeah. So he's going to take a jump to
Then
left.
you put your hands on your hip.
Well, he's actually just taking a slide to the right now.
It's a step to the right.
Whatever.
Jump to the left, step to the right.
But those are distinctly hands on his hips. Am I wrong?
Probably, and I bet that at least one of them is bringing in their knees tight.
Okay. Okay. We won't be able to see that action because it is under the table.
That's true.
Yep. All right, and a stern pelvic thrust with that temporal mastery.
It's gonna really drive Mason insane. And hey, let's do the time warp again.
You're dumb. When will I tell you what Project X is? As soon as I have more information on it. It's still in development stages. Don't we know it, Master? Don't we know it? Okay. Kiwi Potato 24, thank you so much for that follow button. You're in Knoxville, Tennessee. I will not be going to Knoxville, Tennessee for dinner, unfortunately. At least not by Saturday.
Probably not.
Another time.
I mean, Saturday is pre-release.
Luckily, our birthday's every year, so let's do that sometime. Show feet? That's true. Hey, can you two show us your feet? I want to see if your knees were brought inside.
We need to know if you brought your knees in tight.
Yes. So, Baral, Snapcaster, mild beatdown game plan, Coleman sitting at a healthy... Sorry, did I say healthy? I meant
He's
1.
at 1. And it looks like Mason's at 15.
Yep. That's a path to exile. Still nothing
And
happening.
Coleman just passes the turn. Okay.
He's got Cryptic, I believe, to tap the team.
He does.
But that Helix
There's a land.
post-combat is pretty good.
Yep.
No feet, no sub? Do you mean my feet? I can show you my feet.
So Cryptic Command. Tap your guys and I'll draw a card. Okay.
He does not have another Cryptic up.
Mason's going to cast Lightning Helix.
Oh no, because he has the
Cryptic
Baral.
Command. Yep.
The Baral.
Counter and I'll draw a card. Chandra
plus?
Chandra. I will plus her. You will take 2.
Plus?
He could have cast it though.
Could have cast Noxious Revival? Yes, a brilliant play.
Mason, are you sure you didn't want to cast the Noxious Revival?
I know, right?
Oh, man. Both of us would be better. I'll show you my feet. Let's see here. I'll show you. Hold on.
You don't need to do this.
I know. It just kind of sounds fun.
You can lean on me. Fine.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
When I'm not strong?
Oh, yeah.
What's happening right now? I don't know. I want to show that I have feet. None of you have ever seen them before.
That's true. You might think that we just don't have feet.
This is weird. This is weird, right?
You heard my stuff. Perfect.
Like, I've never once revealed my feet on stream. It's just a thought. Shoe on head?
Oh, God. Casters don't have feet.
Oh, okay. I have feet? I'm not ready. I'm not sure if I'm ready to put my shoe on my head.
Don't want to go that far?
Also, those dress shoes.
Yeah, totally. The dress shoes. Those ones.
Is this against Twitch terms and conditions? They didn't mention feet.
There was also no skin, so... No?
For the Jan, thanks for
the
the follow.
button.
It's a pleasure having you here. Shoe on head? Someday. Ask me another time. I'll get a real good shoe. Maybe even a boot.
Perfect.
One of these days, Boot to the Head is going to visit, and I'm going to...
Just put a boot on your head.
Oh, no, I'm going to put Boot to the Head on my head.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Thanks, Doro. It's a good preliminary one, just a warning shot.
TVY is for young people.
Okay. Only classy shoes here? Fact. Nah.
Generic classy shoes.
Sure. Alright, so Mason, we do have a... God, I want to see him cast a bonfire.
It would be nice. Just to see it happen.
Stirring Wildwood right now.
Ooh, Baral. What's up, Baral?
Oh, like bare feet? That's weird, but I guess reasonable. Alright, Helix is going to take down Baral. That is interesting. If that's part of Twitch's terms and conditions, I believe it. Why are we at... We should be at 20, shouldn't we? If we fed... Oh, no, we didn't even... No, we're at 21.
21.
Yeah, because we just shocked and then... Yeah.
Shock Helix.
Okay. Because I probably made... Man, Mason's getting the right cards right now.
Yeah, because now Coleman can't just go dictate.
No, and that was 100% his intent.
That was his plan. Dictate, and we're going to kill it.
He's going to untap and play out that Howling Mine, however. But Mason gets first.
Gets hood-tied.
You know what's going to happen, though? Mason's going to play a fetch. He's going to go for the Renegade Rallier, get back the Gazali Pride Mage, and then blow up the Howling Mine.
That'd be great. But looks like Coleman's just going to keep up a Cryptic Command.
Fine, that's way less cool.
Here's 2 mana, or 4 mana. It's a Huntmaster. That's going to get Cryptic.
Yep.
Real hard. Just Cryptics right out of town.
Thanks, BitBud. I appreciate that. Hey, thanks, Coral Dayton. I probably won't be going barefoot anytime soon, but now I know I can.
Nice.
Serum Visions here. Apparently you have no bits. I'm sorry.
That happens.
We do still have the Temporal Master in hand, but we're a little bit shy on mana. We're a little bit shy on cards in hand. Not going to be looking to go off just yet. I think he's probably going to take the land. Do you think if Coleman hits against Kevin, he's just going to straight lose to that joke?
That would be hilarious.
Coleman, 2 mana available. Not enough to interact with this board. Mason's got a free turn right now.
Well, here's 3 mana.
Thanks, Hoist.
It's a Loxodon Smiter.
Classy play.
Can't counter that.
Remember, he does also have this Stern Wildwood as a way to apply pressure. Coleman likely going to be casting an Exhaustion.
Or we could just try to go. We're just going to try to go. Walk the Eons. Here we go. And they're off.
More lands
draws
now.
a land.
He's got a couple of effects in hand, though.
He does. He's got Time Warp as well as a Temporal Mastery in his hand.
Yep.
But we're going to go with Exhaustion.
Mason doesn't get another turn, I believe. Does he have another Cryptic in hand? No. He's got 2 extra turn spells. Probably just wants to wait to have more cards in hand, because if he uses that Time Warp, then he uses the other one, and he doesn't draw one of those cards, then he is completely out of luck, and he's starting to run a little bit slim on those chances. So, he has a second land here. He does have a Lightning Bolt available. A Swing for 4 is going to put Coleman down to 16, not applying nearly as much pressure.
What's up, Zach? Thanks for hopping in.
Hey, Zach. Good to see you as always. We need to do another co-stream soon.
Ooh.
Heads up.
What's Zach going to make you play? Blue-Black Tezzeret?
Ooh, Team NFG Bot. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's an auto host, but still kind of you.
Totally.
What tribe do I think is cooler, Loxodons or Roxas?
Roxas. Because rhinos are just infinitely cooler than elephants.
I'll take the one that rocks my socks.
That too.
Not Loxodons, my family crest. Dons.
I could have got it.
See, it's funny. It's Radiant Fountain. That's 100% it. I actually think I would probably take Roxas. Rhino, but they're both so cool.
And an activation of the Can't Lose Sanitarium. Coleman cannot lose the game now.
That's true. That is probably true. Okay.
Oh. There's a Loxodon Smiter in play.
Oh.
Because Guy reached Sanitarium made him discard it.
He just garried Sanitarium to give Mason a Loxodon Smiter?
Nice.
That's such a classy move. Coral Dayton, it's because...
Good guy, Coleman. You're a good guy.
Coral Dayton had nothing to do with anything that you did personally. It's that you use terms that basically... To be on the safe side, we try to avoid the terms in general, so that anybody with anybody who, in any situation, can watch the stream. And while it was particularly mild overall, the fact that just the words were there and we're trying to, you know, err on the safe side when in doubt, it was just a purge to remove the comment. It had nothing to do with you personally. It was just to eliminate that from existing, like, visibly on the screen. So please don't be offended by that. It had nothing to do with that or the fact that you were having a conversation. It was 100% just so that to err slightly on the safe side. So we do still have that dictate, man. So I'm still that sanitarium.
That sanitarium was just like, aw.
Punished by the sanitarium.
And a part of the water veil that's just cast.
And we've got another Howling Mine.
Lost and Nerdy Smack talking that show up. True.
Serum Vision's Exhaustion. Land.
Oh, Serum Visions.
Dude, I think we're going to be casting Exhaustion if we can. We're starting to run a little bit low on these taking extra turn effects in hand, I believe.
I think he has a Snapcaster Mage and a Time Warp in his graveyard.
does he?
So
So
he can just do that if he needs to.
He's got one more if needed.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They do almost look like Panoptic Mirrors.
And it looks like that might be the case here. Oh, no, we're just we've got that down.
Temporal Mastery.
Why not? Untap that Snapcaster is going to be another Time Warp effect if he ever needs it. Draws into yet another Exhaustion. Plays out a land. Does have the ability to draw with this Garage Sanitarium if needed.
There's 4, 5, 6, 7. Another Temporal Mastery.
Yep.
Cast a Dictate. Nope. Exhaustion you.
He's got the spare mana is why he's going
Yeah,
for it now.
he just wants to do it now.
It means that now Coleman, even if he fizzles, doesn't need to worry about saving
It is
the mana to
interesting
do
that
so.
he didn't just cast the Dictate that he has, though.
I think this is more a matter of now he just doesn't have to worry about it. Plus, he's got another with the Snapcaster in hand. He doesn't need to worry about it particularly at the
He's
moment.
got 2 Dictates, so this turn he can just go Snap, Time Warp, cast a... Snap, Time Warp, cast a Dictate. That seems fine.
Yes. Coleman needs to hit a win condition. Not really. Just needs to find apart the Water Veil eventually.
Cryptic Command, bounce your Loxodon Smiter.
He's
Okay.
now diving into hit with 2/2 status.
Yep.
We're about to see the 2/2 beats, which I love, by the way.
And he drew a Time Warp off of the Cryptic.
And he can actually Echoing Truth his Snapcaster,
Echo
then
Truth is-
recast it.
Yep, he can snap. He can attack with Snapcaster Mage,
Mm-hmm.
cast Time Warp, Echoing Truth,
And then Time Warp again.
Snap Time
as
Warp.
he needs to.
Yep. Well, there's a Pythian Needle.
Notice that there's 2 fetches on the battlefield.
There are 2 fetches. What is he going to name? Is the other one a fetch? I think. That's
Oh no,
just Stomping Ground.
that is just Stomping Ground. So not gonna be going for that one. What do you end up casting?
It's down to 18,
Chandra?
17, 16. Down to 16.
Do you take Chandra?
You could name Chandra. You could also name a Johnny. You've seen both in the matchup. Name Stirring Wildwood. I like that.
Okay. I mean, it's the known activated ability. And when you aren't expecting Mason to cast much through that exhaustion,
Now,
Cutting
Coleman
off
has
the
a part of the
EG
Water Veil, which he can just cast full on right now
yep.
if he would like to.
And that's hit for 8 with Mason.
We'll just Time Warp instead.
With Mason at 16, those hit for 8s look pretty good.
Well, he attacked already this turn.
Yes, but
3 islands. Classic Eric.
at this point, I don't think he needs a whole lot more though,
He doesn't need a ton more. You are correct.
because he's got enough lands. Plus, he's got draw power in this Garage Sanitarium. Again, the Echoing Truth on his Snapcaster can get him a Time Warp whenever he feels like he needs one.
Mm-hmm.
Any spare mana that he has can go towards this, so he might just be lining up to start.
An attack for 2.
He might also be going for the get the kill with the 2/2s, with a 2/1 Snapcaster beat achievement.
Hey, Snappy Beats is where it's at.
It's a classic out of Miracles.
Plays a land and just passes.
Decides to. This is going to be an Entate double dictate.
Bolt Bolt.
That's a bold play.
It's a Bolt play. So, Exhaustion. Mason's not going to untap. And draw 2 cards there. Okay.
And we just pass it back. Interesting. Shocks this in, goes down to 12. Do we have something to do with that mana? We have
you
to
might
if
have
you're-
a path? Ghost Quarter.
Do you pat the Snapcaster then?
I mean, anything going at the Snapcaster is going to get Echoing Truth.
Yep, and doesn't have the basic island right now. Or basic plains, I'm sorry. Have a good night, Elemental Whisper. Thank you very much. I appreciate the birthday wishes.
And Coleman did not cast either of the Dictates.
I guess his hand is already full.
He doesn't have like an elixir currently, so that could be part of it.
Try not to deck himself. He's probably
so
pretty close.
He's got him here. This is a 2-turn clock.
Yep. Rizawala,
And-
thank you so much for hitting that follow button.
Deflecting bomb! Deflecting bomb! Get you! Get you! But he doesn't have the mana!
No.
Get you!
Still pretty cool.
It would have been cool.
I know. So Coleman's just gonna win.
Yeah.
But still. So we are
But it
gonna
would've
echoing
been
shoot the
cool.
Snapcaster. You know, if he did have Simeon Spirit Guide and Core Spirit Guide, then that totally would have worked.
Core Spirit Guide.
And it
That's,
would be a core.
it would be a core.
It would
You
be a
are
core.
not wrong. What would the blue one be?
Elemental. No, Drake.
Like the red one's an ape, the green one's an elf, which is
Drake Spirit Guide?
straightforward. Maybe? I don't think it's Drake.
Merfolk.
It's probably just Merfolk.
That's boring. No, it shouldn't be a Merfolk.
Cephalid.
Cephalid Spirit Guide. Yes.
Nailed it.
Yes. Hodor, it's good to see you. Let's head on up to the booth and see what else we can find here in round 3. We'll see you out there.
Absolutely.
Hold on. For Mason, real quick, though, before we go, Mason, this is for you. Didn't get to do it this time, though. Oh, well. See you out there. Hello and thank you for joining. My name's TJ. This is the Geek Fortress stream, and I have got Bryce with me tonight. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great, and it is gonna be a lot of fun. We're in the middle of round 3 right now of 4. I'm excited to see what else we can see here at the Geek Fortress stream. We do this every Wednesday and every Saturday for Modern. Wednesdays at 7 and Saturdays at 6. Plus, if Legacy is a game that you like, you can check it out every Friday at 7:30. We will have some of that super sweet Legacy action for you, often 4 to 5 rounds. Keep your eyes open, your ears wide, and of course your mind present on the situation. But it is a pleasure having you here. It's incredible and exciting for me to be a part of this stream with all of you. Okay, first worst, repeater. Possibly. I do tend to repeat things because, you know, you got a lot of things to say and you got to get them into the mind. Which, while I'm at it, you can, of course, check out GeekFortressGames.com to help support what this store does. The store is amazing. The store is a good place to be. It's a fun place for the community. The players have a lot of fun. And if you do want to help out that store, check out GeekFortressGames.com when you are in need for some of those cards or supplies. See if that's what we've got that you need. Otherwise, you can, of course, hit follow on this stream. And if you have the means and the inclination, you can subscribe. And join us more in the future with some super sweet emotes. What's some hot tech for Legacy Blue Red Delver? I am going to turn the mic over to Emma Handy and her Blue Red Prowess deck on that one. But what's some hot tech for Legacy Blue Red Delver? I guess Mana Clash. It's a turn 1 win potentially. Any Lantern players? We do occasionally have Lantern players here. I don't believe that we do tonight, but we do occasionally have them here. Dabga, hello, it's good to see you. Greetings to you as well. Hate Bears, we do have Hate Bears. We saw it beat Grixis Death Shadow earlier. It was a lot of fun. Plus Bacon. Hey, I'm always a fan of Bacon. I dig it.
So, chatted with Coleman. The Black Spirit Guide is Thrall's Spirit Guide.
Thrall's a pretty good one. Thrall's a pretty good one.
And I came up with a backup if Cephalid Spirit Guide isn't good enough. Homerid Spirit Guide.
Oh, they came up with Crab.
I mean, Homerid are crab people. Well, they're lobster people, I guess. Cephalids are more crab people. Crab people, crab people.
Okay, so we are getting ready for the rest of round 3. 8 minutes left. Did you see anything that?
There's only one match going. It's it's in game 3. It's Ad Nauseam versus Junk.
Ah, so I imagine that'll be over shortly.
Should be over shortly.
Wonderful, and then we'll be jumping into round 4, having some fun with that super sweet things that we can see. Transito, I don't quite know what that means. Transition. Oh, do you mean transition? Do the transition? Not sure why. But let's play a little bit more of, take a look at what the, let's see here. Do we still have it? There we go.
Uh-oh.
Let's
We're
keep
looking at more of the cards.
Let's take a look at that one. Soul Scar Mage. the 1/2, the
The Monastery Swiftspear Light Plus.
it won't say play and burn unless the meta turns into a world that is entirely like X5s. If there's a lot of X5s, I could see a Soulscar Mage being like a 2 of in burn, but
Yeah.
otherwise I'm pretty underwhelmed by it. I think there's a home for this deck. In Modern, the effect is extremely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The one that stands out to me is a classic at this store. Do you remember the red-white... I just spaced out on the name of it. Donovan's deck.
Oh yeah, the Pyrohemia.
Yes!
Pyrohemia deck.
The Boros Pyrohemia
Yeah,
deck?
I think it's great in the Pyrohemia deck.
The deck was running Swiftspear.
Yeah, now it just runs this instead,
It was-
and Pyrohemia activations give -1/-1 counters.
It was running Swiftspear, and it didn't even like the Swiftspear. It was just because it was a 1-mana play
Yeah.
that was good with, like,
Pyroclasm.
Pyroclasm.
Mhm.
And having this one is going to be
Just
so
so
much
much
better.
better.
And,
It's just
and it
way
means
better.
that your pyro, like your Pyroclasm now starts just diminishing the board against that. Apex Magic 1993, welcome. It's a pleasure having you here. Say hello to Brazil. Hello to Brazil. It's wonderful to have you here. Obrigado for joining, and I cannot wait to see you more in the future. Scred Red, though, I don't think it'll get played in Scred Red. 1-mana plays aren't really their jam, and the card isn't
Other
super...
than Scred and Lightning Bolt.
Like, it's a 1-mana creature that they're not an aggressive deck. I don't know. Maybe. It's worth testing in Scred, but I'm not sure it'll get there.
Ooh, Drakehaven. Now this card could make some things pop up.
If it was free, it'd be a lot better, but of course, that'd be really good.
Well, it only costs 1 mana to do it.
I think this card
So you
could
might
be
as well do
decent
it.
sideboard tech if Living End starts moving into blue against Graveyard Hate. You beat the Graveyard Hate, you just land this one and start cycling
and
to
you
make
just
2/2
start
drakes.
cycling, making 2/2s.
Yeah.
More than fine.
Gisela, hi, it's good seeing you.
Yep. Plus, it's
Why is Surgical Extraction 25? It's really good. Mr. Lollytime, thank you so much for hitting that follow button. It's really good in both Legacy and Modern right now, with Black-Red Reanimator being as good as it is in Legacy. It's pretty good against that. Plus, in Modern, it's particularly good because with Death Shadow being around, when they only do run 8 true threats in the deck,
you hit one and...
being able to eliminate 50% of them can be pretty good.
So with Drakehaven, it can also be played as like a sort of foil to discard, because they're like Thought sees you and you're like, cool, I discard that. We'll make it 2/2 and start beating you.
Goatman the Savage, I disagree. I actually don't think that Harsh Mentor is very playable in Modern at all. Which apparently is controversial, but it's an opinion.
It's the Regal Cat,
Honestly,
lifelink cat.
this card is the singular reason why, if there's a standard ban, I want them to hit Saheeli and not Felidar Guardian. Felidar Guardian is actually an interesting card where Saheeli is not. Saheeli is unplayable without Guardian. Guardian is playable without
Guardian
Saheeli.
does some cool things. Yep.
And it does eliminate the combo regardless. Plus, on top of that, having access to a cat deck in Standard that's, like, dope. Love it. I look forward to that.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Open to Wonder, I don't think will do anything.
No.
Archfiend of Ifnir, again, one of the cards that might get put into Living End.
Yep. I think it's got some home there. The big thing is that it's only good once you've already cast a Living End. Now, that is really good at sweeping up the board against some decks like Affinity, in which is actually not a bad deck against Living End. But I'm not sure if it's totally worth it. It might be over the Jungle Weaver, which is the other 2 mana.
Yeah,
sideboard.
Jungle Weaver is the other one.
And this one is colorless, which works out well with a lot of things, and it is a 5/4 flyer. The only issue with that one is that it means that they would probably want to turn the Deadshot Minotaur into something else.
Yeah, because then Deadshot comes down. If you have 2 Deadshots and they don't have any flyers, you're just killing your guy.
Is Deadshot only 3 damage?
It deals 3 damage.
Oh, then actually I don't care.
Yep.
I thought Deadshot was 4 damage. I'm
Nope,
sorry.
deals 3 damage to a flyer.
I don't... Usually I only run X1
Bolts
flyers.
a flyer.
Glorybringer would be so cool if Thundermaw and Stormbreath didn't already exist.
Yeah. Those cards existing make Glorybringer just...
Next round will be starting shortly.
Wonderful.
Also, I'm taking off, so here's these.
Thank you.
Thank you for the use.
You're welcome.
just tell Coleman to put the finals there.
Kurosaki, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure seeing you here. I think there are metas in which Glorybringer might be playable, however. It's your first time viewing? Well, welcome. Anybody else in the chat as a first time viewer? We should have the next round on shortly. But if you are brand new to the stream, feel free to toss it into the chat. I would love to welcome you by name. Truly and sincerely, this stream is built by the people who are watching it, and being able to welcome you all here means a lot to me, because you being here means a lot to me, and I want to make sure that you recognize this is never a stream in which you should leave thinking that you are not appreciated for spending your time here.
Bye, BitBite. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, BitBite. Thanks for the sub. Have a great night. You just got MTG Studio? I don't know what that is. First time. Okay, sorry. Hold on. Yes, my personal Twitch account is Red Baron MTG. Just twitch.tv/RedBaronMTG. It's a pretty fun one. Let's see here. Otherwise, first time here as well. Well, welcome MTG Jones 3. Now the first two couldn't make it, but that's okay. It's a pleasure having you here.
I mean, Patches, it's totally your first time here. I believe it.
Taxi915, first time and interesting to actually hear strategies brought down to our beginners can understand. It is our pleasure. We vary a decent amount. We try to have fun. We try and pwn in like a boss. Thank you so much. We try to actually, like, you know, interacting with you is a huge part of what this stream is, because we need to recognize what we are, which is that we're a small store. I think ignoring all of you is pointless, because you're a huge part of what we are.
When do we play MTG Spy Clam? As soon as the next round is up.
Round 4 will be posted momentarily, and we'll have more magic for you. But it is a pleasure having you here. If you ever do have questions, ask them into the chat. I read everything that gets put into chat. I don't always respond to everything, but I do read everything. And if you do have questions, either myself or some of the mods, some of the other people can answer those questions. They're extremely helpful and amazing. But thank you, that's really kind of you to say. It's the Red Baron MTG? Yes, it is. Just found out your girlfriend's dead.
So I've got your finals for you.
Okay.
Snap empty wallet? That's awesome.
You've got... What side do you want to be on? I'll be on the wall.
Thank you, Major. I appreciate that.
So it'll be Peter facing the wall.
Peter facing the wall versus Patrick?
Yep.
Jund versus Eldrazi.
Yep.
Peter hates this matchup.
I know Peter hates it. I mean...
Urtai Mago Graduado. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button. I hope I pronounced it
I
correctly.
just want to say it'll be a couple minutes before they actually get started.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So letting you know.
I'll just keep an eye out.
Okay.
So Peter is out doing his thing.
Yep. Alright, so we're lining up here, and would I rather have tongues for fingers or a finger for a tongue? Probably a finger for a tongue, because then I could do even more like typing and work, because then I could like type on the keyboard while using other things. Let's see here. What else? When do I play MTG? Quite shortly. I think we need a lava lamp in the background to build ambience. That sounds awesome.
I mean, there's a light right there.
I dig that. How's it going?
It's right there.
So very well. It is going so very well. Just in time for the finals. Indeed, indeed. And how happy am I knowing that I'm on the list for possible pre-release guests? I'm so excited. That response meant so much to me. I sat there.
Peter's here. We'll be starting in just a minute.
Okay,
Good to
yeah,
go,
well-
or do you want us-
We'll just
We'll
head
be down in
and
maybe
do-
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
It means so much. The fact that Loading Ready Run responded to that.
Like, I saw your response and I was just like, I know TJ is far more animated than that response is.
I'm just so excited even thinking about it. Best Orzhov cards. Blood Baron.
Lingering Souls.
Oh, and Lingering Souls, yes. You love Commander gameplay? Who doesn't? I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but it is sweet. Alright, what are my thoughts about putting the Green God in Modern Company? I think it's medium reasonable, but I think it would have to be a different tech, like old Naya Company. I think might be able to utilize it in some ways.
Anyway, I think let's head on down.
Was it a... Yeah, let's do that, and let's get on down. Are we married, TJ or Bryce? Neither of us are married. No.
Nope.
We'll see you down there. And I forgot to hit save on that. Look at me go. Thanks. Good job, TJ. Was it a senpai noticed me moment? Not really. I have never once in my life used the word senpai for anyone as an actual term, other than just now using, like, saying the word. So I've never really had that, but I suppose it could be somewhat related to that. It was certainly something to where I didn't realize that they actually even knew who we were. So the fact that I was expecting this to be like oh, we'll check out your work and see what we think, or they just completely ignore it. So the fact that they said, we know who you are, I was
And
like,
you're on the
dang.
list.
Yeah, that too. That blew.
Like, we know who you are, cool, and you're on the list. Oh!
That blew my mind. That shattered my mind to pieces for like a good 30 seconds to a minute. Okay. Wonderful, nice.
True.
Hey, headcanon is still canon.
I mean, as far as it goes, Eric has shared a bed with TJ infinitely more times than I have.
And Coleman.
That's true.
Anyone else? Yeah, a few.
Not that I can think of. I think most of our trips have just been
Texas for a short bit. But
Texas for a short
Then he
bit.
slept on the
Then
floor.
he slept on the floor the rest of the time, and that was just okay.
So, a map from Patrick off of a mine, and Peter gonna fire off this Inquisition of Kozilek. Not at all MTG Jones, though, as a note, I tend to avoid banless conversation.
Basilisk Collar, Chalice of the Void.
I think you take Chalice.
You take Chalice.
Otherwise, an Ulamog and a couple of lands.
Yep.
Thinking about Oreos. Oreos are great.
Ooh, Walking Ballista. That's fun.
Walking Ballista is such a good card. Though I think I might just rather pop this and try and find into either... There's a couple of choices here with the land. If you're on the game plan to finish the... oh, that sounds awesome. Wonderful. That just sounds awesome. I actually live on my own. I'm just in a little studio, so I actually have no roommates, so I don't get to talk to anybody in the morning. Any baseless speculation on Ixalan? Yep, Tibble comes back as a...
That's just your speculation.
As
always.
a reasonable but still under par 3-mana walker.
I think he comes back as a more than playable 3-mana walker and blows Liliana the Veil out of the water.
Snap Empty Wallet, I think it's the second best deck in Modern. Ulamog getting taken. Unusual.
Get out of here,
Because
Moggy Mog.
Walking Ballista and Basilisk Collar is the reason that Jund can't win. Oh, okay. Sorry. It's one of the reasons
It's
why
part of the
Jund
reason.
can't win this. So leaving him with that in hand when he's about to get the third land and potentially play both of those in the same turn. In fact, what land did Patrick have in hand? Because it wasn't a Charm
It's an
Beast, was it?
Urborg.
Okay.
Tomb of Yawgmoth, specifically.
So Tibble would have to fit into something there? No, it's not. He's a
McPatches,
planeswalker.
you talk like Tybalt already is not playable.
Thoughts on X Planeswalkers? Awesome. It's a design that feels it doesn't feel like an overbearing design, in your face design. It fit with the card. It seemed intuitive. It's perfect. It doesn't look like they designed that card to do it. It doesn't look like, well, let's make an X card. It looks like if they built a card and they thought, how cool would it be if this was just an X ability? And they did that.
X red Tybalt coming in the next set, calling it now, costs us X and a red.
Yes, I do think that Jund Shadow is the best.
Interesting that Patrick didn't deploy the Walking Ballista.
Well, it's playable with pasta. Fact. So we do have that. Well, the Walking Ballista
bad.
next turn. It is unusual. Maybe
Well,
just doesn't want it to die to a
Patrick gets to go
abrupt
land,
decay or terminate.
Walking Ballista, kill the Bob.
Yes. The issue there is that you need Tron to do that fully because you can't actually use that. Like, it would just be a 1/1 Walking Ballista, so you actually can't.
Well, he can play it for 2 and then kill the Bob.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't even need the Basilisk Collar. That's true.
Yep.
Tibble is dead in story? No. He was just defeated by, he just ran away from Sorin. When does Elspeth come back from the dead? Actually, I fully expect that. I look forward to it. I think that'll be a really
And
great
bolt that,
storyline.
And I'll just
Dome
ping
for
you
2.
down to 15.
So, the Walking Ballista deals that damage back. Peter, overall taking 1 damage from that, not worst case scenario. I listened to the song X Gon' Give It To You today.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
While walking to the grocery store, I thought it would make me feel cool. Successful. Master of the Fells coming down. What? I'm just saying.
Just weird grocery store music.
Okay. So, a Huntmaster of the Fells contending against a lone Basilisk Caller, Patrick with 5 lands, Endbringer coming down. That card's a house.
Well, Taxi, if it helps, they already have stated that they're going to be lessening up on the Gatewatch, starting with Hour of Devastation.
Correct. Endbringer 6 mana. Untap it during each other player's untap step.
Endbringer is that?
That was the pre-release promo. And
It's not the pre-release promo. The pre-release promo has the same art.
then
Is
what
it
is
like
it?
the release day or the
it is the
buy
release
box?
day. It's release day. It was the release day promo. Tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Notice
It's a
that
pinger.
Peter's signaling the bolt.
Yep.
By the way.
And he's like, I'm going to transform this. It's going to ping that, and I'm going to bolt it into oblivion.
Potentially. Doesn't look like that
Hopefully.
might be the
And
case.
Patrick with 2 wastes.
Yeah, Patrick. I mean, talk about
Such a waste.
Peter the underdog. Earlier today, he beats a matchup that we think he's not favored in, and he lines up against a deck that was literally designed to beat mid-range decks like this.
Well, Basilisk Collar targeting this. Abrupt Decay the Basilisk Collar. Get that out of here.
Like, this deck was designed to crush mid-range strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter
I think Patrick should probably just draw a card.
is doing a fine job. I actually agree with that. Leaving up the Eldrazi Temple, something like a Thought-Knot Seer would be enormously good.
I mean, you can just tap 1 Eldrazi Temple and leave the other 2 lands up if you want to as well.
True, and actually I probably would have done that before I played a land for the turn.
Well, he wanted to equip, so it sort of makes sense.
Oh, that's true. That makes sense. Because his original intent was to just shock it.
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't expecting to draw the card there.
Okay, drawing a card looks like
That's a
an
map.
Expedition map. That gets him his last piece of Tron, which is very powerful.
Yes.
So he's going to play the map.
And it means he can decide to keep Peter from attacking this turn if he wants to. And still,
Pass turn, that's going to untap.
yep.
That does not transform.
He can either deal 1 damage, or he can make target creature not attack or block. Hitting the Huntmaster doesn't sound awful.
I mean, you can just block the Huntmaster, the Ravager, so you're not that worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Thank you, Stunlock. We're always looking to improve it and try out different things. We aren't always doing the level of commentary that we would in like a professional setting, because we aren't in a professional setting. So we mix it up with joking around a bit more than we normally would, or I guess just joking around at a reasonable amount, and talking to chat, and just kind of going into anecdotal stuff. And it's mostly because we're trying to recognize what we are, and not try and pretend we're something that we aren't. We are not the Pro Tour, and I think to pretend so would basically just waste an opportunity to actually do cool things with all of you.
Alright, and activates his Endbringer to draw a card.
MTG Jones, I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Alright, so Patrick got a couple of lands available. Popping this Expedition map. We are feeling like we're in a Tron mood. Possibly going to be drawing a card using only 1 land here.
This is round 4, yep.
Whoops.
Mom Spaghetti, his foil Shocklands and fetches are the ones that he chooses. Peter is very specific about how he chooses his foils. He chooses the art that he likes the best and the foiling process he likes the best. Which is why he uses original Modern Masters Tarmogoyfs.
Yep. I will not do a Borat impression. 1 reason is that I'm not a big fan of the movie, and 2 is because I don't really feel like it. Did we draw into something good? Or are we just going to draw a card using one of those? Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Have a good night. So, Huntmaster of the Fells. 2 mana, 2/2, or 4 mana, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield or transforms into this side, you put a 2/2 green wolf creature onto the battlefield, and you gain 2 life. If at the beginning of your upkeep no spells were cast next turn, you transform it into a 4/4.
This is Endbringer number 2.
That's really good.
Ouch.
It's also good against the Huntmasters.
Oh,
Well, it's decent against the Huntmasters.
it's more than fine.
Imagine King. Welcome It's a pleasure having you. Horse. It makes horses, huh? Oh, neat. Horses are good. Actually, I don't really like horses.
Who makes horse tokens?
Apparently, Huntmaster.
Pretty sure it says wolf.
Fun fact, I don't like horses.
You don't like horses?
No.
That's fair.
They freak me out. They've got big eyes that are always looking at me.
Magic
Magic
King, thanks for the follow.
It's a pleasure having you here. I appreciate people who do like horses, but they're not my thing. Now, before people, they have a good one, pulling in like a boss. Homie C99, thank you so much for that follow button. It's a pleasure having you here. More wolves coming in, more life being gained. We're up to 19 on Peter's side of the battlefield. We've got wolves for days. If he were to just play the, what am I looking for? The Huntmaster?
Mayor of Averbuck?
No, the other Huntmaster.
Which Huntmaster?
The one that taps to have your wolves fight.
Oh, Master of the Wild Hunt.
That one. Needs to get a Master of the Wild Hunt on the board. Sideboard into one.
Nice.
Yes.
Then the wolves start fighting.
Probably, right?
Fighting round the world.
Yeah. Horses are just big. Not my thing. Though I've never ridden a horse.
You haven't?
No.
Okay.
And notably, that might change my perception.
Young paraplegic. Thanks for hitting that follow button.
It's a pleasure having you here. Thanks for watching the stream. Could activate the Raging Ravine. Doesn't seem wise against a couple of 5/5s.
Yeah.
These Endbringers are actually pretty solid, though.
Oh, Endbringer is super good. I have considered it in Bant Eldrazi as like a sideboard card a couple of times. Considered it in the main deck.
Nice job, Pants. Nice job. Congratulations on the 3-0. So we're going to activate this one. Looks like we're going to draw a card. Trying to refill that hand a little bit. That looked like a Dismember to me.
Untap. Both these trigger.
Not entirely
Hold
sure if
on.
it was, though.
If I'm Patrick, I might ping one of these Huntmasters down before it transforms.
I think that is actually why Patrick is asking him to hold. Oh, it looks like he actually didn't.
He let him do both.
Okay, so he's actually going to go down to 12 here.
So one of them hit an Endbringer, the other one hit
And actually, that's not a
Matter
bad card
Shaper,
to hit.
and well, he's been drawing cards with Endbringer, so
Yeah, but I think he has the capacity to empty his hand pretty quickly here. That was a Dismember and a waste.
drops turn. Okay, he draws a Warping Whale.
Gar yourself. Thank you so much. You are featured view of the day. It's a pleasure having you here. You always make me remind myself that I need to guard myself, and then I immediately ignore it when I'm playing Burn.
Gary ourself?
Oh.
Oh no, it's guard yourself. Doro just typed it wrong.
Oh, it is guard yourself.
Doro.
You're an old school alpha card collector, but Moat is your special mint, maybe? That's awesome. I'm a lightning bolt kind of guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So Dismember's going to take one of these down. We are going to, with the Urborg out.
With the
actually
Urborg
take-
out, he just gets to do it.
The Urborg allows those wastes to tap for black mana. It means that he is able to go for a painless one there, and he's still got plenty of mana available to him. I would be surprised.
He could just cast...
Well, that's a land in his hand. I'm surprised that he...
So he could cast it in order to transform the Huntmaster back, which is the main reason I think he
Cast
should.
a land?
He has a Warping Whale.
Oh, is that a Warping Wheel? I'm sorry, I thought that was a land.
Pretty sure it was Warping Whale in his hand.
Can we explain the wolf tokens? Sure. The wolf tokens are coming into play off of the Huntmaster of the Fells. So they are just 2/2 wolves that don't really have a full effect on the board other than that at the moment.
So he could have cast the Warping Whale, made a token, could have then once the Huntmaster transforms back, he could have killed it with the Endbringers.
Warping Wheel to
okay,
make
so
a
he's still gonna have
1/1.
Warping Whale. Oh come on, we have to have a Scion.
We do. That's okay. I imagine that it's not long for this world. It might end up popping too.
Whoa!
That was a super aggressive attack. Oh wait, was that just dealing 1 damage? Okay, that was him passing the turn.
I thought he had attacked. I was like,
That's bold.
whoa there.
So just pinging for the damage, we're going
Whoa,
to gain some life here
Nelly.
because of the 2 spells being cast here. It does mean that he can ping it with these Endbringers to close that one out, and then all you've got is these wolves to contend with.
Mm-hmm. Which can be shot down pretty quickly by the Endbringers.
Exactly. Would I recommend... What would we recommend running in the Chow slot for Eldrazi Tron? You can't afford them? 3-ball might be interesting.
Trinisphere, but Trinisphere is pretty expensive too.
Is it? Okay.
You can look for versions that aren't running the Chalices in the main deck. You can run something like Mind Stone, that kind of thing. But
Ratchet Bomb and Mind Stone strike me as the two mana plays that are...
But honestly, you should just try to get Chalices.
But if you're like, both of those are cheap cards to get to play until then. They're both under $1. It's a 2-mana card. I would recommend getting the Chalices ASAP, but okay.
Sure, I will discard a card.
So Peter fighting through a
So
pretty
the Huntmaster is
unfavored
going to
game
get
one.
blasted.
We're losing that. Remember, we do have the Dark Confidant. Patrick might have to focus on that a little bit.
Well, he'll be able to take that out as well as ping the Lily down if he wants to.
True, and that Liliana is mostly just going to take out the Scion at the moment.
And
Yep.
now, Peter doing that did allow Patrick to activate his
Which is pretty funny, actually.
Seagate Wreckage.
Oh, you were thinking Banto Eldrazi.
No, that was someone who
Oh,
was
never
responding.
mind. Okay. Gotcha. Whew.
Judge Promo Bob is shiny.
Yeah. Note, by the way, that is about as shiny as a card gets on here. Isn't our level of glare entirely appropriate?
Totes my goats.
Why do you recommend buying Chalice? If you can, like, if it is within your means, or if you can save up, the card is just, if that's the deck that you want to play, Chalice makes the deck significantly better. Is why you recommend. Thought-Knot Seer looks medium against an empty board, but it's okay. It's mostly just a 4/4, and it means that you can keep drawing cards.
I think you're just tapping out here. Just cast the Walking Ballista for all of it.
Yeah, I think he's keeping
this
up
is
enough.
For 4.
I think he's keeping up enough to maintain the Seagate Wreckage. How do you feel about
No,
just
he can't.
sweeping?
He can't do Seagate Wreckage. He only has 2 mana. You should just.
Does it cost 3 to activate?
It does cost 3 to activate. He can activate
you're
an
right.
Endbringer once if he would like to.
He can make one of those also not attack.
Yeah. But I think you just do 2 more mana and have a 5/5 Walking Ballista.
I might just I might just double ping the Liliana. Oh, okay. What about hit the Liliana with the other Endbringer and then use 3 counters from the Ballista?
That's a good play as well.
Then you leave him with a Raging Ravine and 4 Wolves with 2 untapped 5/5s and a 1/1.
I mean, you can also just not worry too much about the Liliana here, because
You have the
Liliana
Scion.
will minus and kill your Scion.
The
or
problem
it'll
is that if he
plus
draws
and
into
you
a
don't have
removal
anything
spell.
in your hand. That is the problem.
That's the risk inherent.
He can sack the token to draw a Seagate. You are correct.
Oh, that's a good point.
Chalice is pretty good in Mantle Eldrazi as well. It's 1 or 2 of in sideboard sometimes.
So if this isn't a removal spell, because if it is, I might just take down the Scion and then minus the Liliana. But it depends, because if the removal spell would just hit one of those, then I'll just hit the one that I'd rather get. That's a lot of blockers. I think Patrick may have turned a corner in this matchup. I think Patrick may be close to taking this one down.
Well, he's had Endbringers in play for a long time, and that's just a lot of value being accrued.
Oh, Endbringer. Probably the...
So the minus does get a Scion.
I will say that of all the Eldrazi that aren't getting played, except in this deck. So this deck is a somewhat newer spectrum, even though it's a couple months old. Endbringer's the best one that isn't like one of the iconic Eldrazi getting played. Compared to like Thought-Knot.
It's the colorless Eldrazi that's not getting played. Because
Yes.
Bant Eldrazi plays Drowner, which is just in the deck much better.
Yes, I agree with that. And that's mostly because of Displacer.
Yep.
If Displacer wasn't in the deck, then Endbringer very well would be a consideration in the slot.
So we're activating Seagate Wreckage in upkeep. Draws another... Oh, and a Smasher. Okay, this game's just out of hand.
Hi there, would you like to get obliterated? Because I will be your server today. Reality Smasher, the 5/5 haste, bash, crash, smash, and
we can
dash.
play a 2/2 Walking Ballista.
Why not?
Or a 3/3 if you want to tap all the way out.
Why not?
I think you can make a 3/3.
Honestly, I probably
I'm a fan
would.
of 3/3s.
Well, think about it this, like, I might just attack all out here. Because you've got these 2 Endbringers. Like, I might not attack with the Endbringers and just use those to make it to where anything
send
that
the
Peter
Thought-Knot.
blocks, he has to basically triple block the Thought-Knot Seer to actually trade.
he can't even do that.
Well, 'cause if he
you
d-
kill 2 of them with Endbringers plus
And
Walking
true, so he has
Ballista.
to quadruple block.
He has to quad block, and even then,
Could still
Patrick
go
can then
wrong.
sacrifice a Walking Ballista.
And still deal 5.
Yep. He's attacking with the Endbringer. That is very interesting.
I think it's still, if you accept that the Walking Ballista is doing its thing, I think it's about the same.
So here's an activated Raging Ravine.
Sure, so those are going to combine to maybe try and take down one Endbringer. I think the other Endbringer and the Walking Ballista are about to make this math a lot less fun for Peter. There's another consideration that you just instead slam down the other Walking Ballista over the Reality Smasher, and then what you have is 2 massive Walking Ballistas and start pumping mana into them while also dealing the damage with the Endbringers. And just brick walling a board that you are larger
So
than in every
here
way.
he can save his Endbringer, which I think he should.
Yep, so we're going to put another
Put
counter
another
in there.
counter on here. Okay, actually, now he can save his Endbringer and deal with 2 of the wolves from the Thought-Knot Seer.
They're 2/2s. I don't think he can answer both. Unless he actually wants to lose the Walking Ballista, but I don't think he can.
Yeah, if he wants to lose the Walking Ballista, he has another one in his hand that he can just cast for giant amounts next turn.
That's a good point.
So,
So maybe you do just sweep both of the wolves.
yeah, get 2 wolves out of the way.
You get 5 damage, you eliminate most of this board. But it looks like you might be okay with him drawing a card. Okay, so we are instead going to take that.
See, I don't think I would have been okay with that.
I don't think that he's going to lose out too much.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big-time attrition battle.
Also,
So-
keeping the Walking Ballista in hand is better if, say, like a Liliana comes in pluses or a Thoughtseize comes down or something like that. Because that Walking Ballista is a pretty large part of what your end game plan is. And I think Peter is mostly saying
Moving to 13,
that these
untap these
Endbringers
guys.
are the game plan, that the Thought-Knot Seer was largely a distraction. It was a 4/4 that never got a whole lot of value. Peter drawing a card, while bad,
Inquisition, oof.
so you do lose that. So maybe keeping that Hangerback, or the Walking Ballista there, does look pretty good. Because now you would be empty-handed without that. And while the Endbringers are good, I think the Walking Ballista itself has so much more potential, because right now he's sitting on...
Right, that wolf is down. He can attack for 5, 10, 15, plus
With
the
a-
Walking Ballista that he can put a bunch of
A
counters
land
on.
gets him to 4 mana, or to 14 mana. And that was, I think, a Dismember, actually.
Draw for turn. It's a Matter Reshaper.
Oh no,
I
that's a
think
Ghost Quarter. I think I play Ghost Quarter, and
You just attack. You
I am
have
100% on
1, 2,
attack with Walking Ballista, attack with Reality
you can
Smasher,
put
bash
1,
face.
2. You can put 2 counters on the Ballista.
I think you turn them all sideways and then sweep the rest.
And there we go.
Yeah, because if that isn't lethal,
Yeah,
then
no,
you just minus that.
I definitely, you just attack with all your guys.
Yeah.
But he had the ability to put 2 counters on Walking Ballista if he needed to, so.
Have I ever played against the red-green Ponza deck? Yes, I have. What do I think of it? I think that when it gets the perfect curve, that deck is...
Tough to beat.
Like, on the play, turn 2 Stone Rain, turn 3 Stone Rain, turn 2 4 Stone Rain, all those things together just make it... Is that a Seinfeld impression?
Apparently.
I also have only seen like 10 episodes of Seinfeld.
Oh, TJ, sometimes I wonder about you, man.
What time am I gonna watch TV with, Bryce? I spent
When
my
you were younger.
I spent my childhood outside, falling out of trees and building tree forts.
Well, that's
and
your fault.
Inventing games and being in cross country and track and all that stuff. Like, I just didn't watch that much TV.
Okay.
I don't know.
So what about before you started the stream? Why didn't you watch a ton of TV then?
I was playing Magic all the time.
You can do both.
No, I didn't. It was all like, for every moment that you now see me streaming, I was basically spending the same amount of time playing Magic. Man, I was good before I started streaming. I mean, I'm not anymore. I was, and that's not even to say like good is such a subjective term. I will say that I was
You're consistently doing well in the store.
I was doing well enough at enough local events that I was considering playing on a larger scale. Consistently. But instead it was basically, do I want to actually try flying around and doing grinding? And start grinding like going to all the GPTs and all the PPTQs and all that stuff, or do I want to do commentary?
Dun 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 dun. Commentary.
Anyway, I bet
the
you'll
correct
all. Anyway, I think you can all guess what I end up deciding.
You decided to fly around and do commentary.
Basically. Climbing trees and licking trees. I have actually. You know how there's some trees that have that like gummy stuff inside of them?
Sap?
No, it's like a foamy, rubbery kind of thing. It's not sap. Anyway, it's in like alder trees and stuff like that. I have tried using that as a gum.
Sap.
It was dry. Maybe it is a sap. I don't know. I never like looked it up. I should have. But anyway, I tried using that as a gum once. Was not tasty.
Nope.
Let's see here. Seinfeld is worse than Jim Davis playing both sides of a green-white devotion mirror. Lol. Actually, I have enjoyed all the Seinfeld that I've seen. Didn't know I did track. What events? In cross country, I was the 5K. I was much better at cross country. I did varsity with that. In track, I wasn't great. May have been a gum tree. Probably not. Are there gum trees up here? Maybe.
Not in this area.
I don't think it was in this area, so I don't think it was a gum tree. So maybe some. I don't know. Anyway, in track, I did the 4x4 relay, which I was medium at. I was on like the cross country group doing it. I did the 800, which I hated, but my coach wanted me to do it. What was my best mile time? It was never like ridiculously fast, but it was fast. It was like 5, I think. I think it was 5:04, something like that. Was my best mile time. It was never like absurdly fast because I was a lot more into the distance running, but it was fast enough. Atomic Tacos, that sounds amazing.
Don't tempt him.
Xanthan gum, maybe. I don't know what that is.
It's probably not xanthan gum.
It was slower than the people who competed at the mile.
Well, yeah. People who compete at the mile are like 4+ minutes, sub 5 minute, the majority of the time.
Yeah, the people who competed are generally sub 5 minute. TJ runs as fast as he talks.
I don't know if that'd be true anymore.
Speed was always my game. It's also how fast I play. Hi, Mostly Lost. It's good to see you. Enjoy your stream. Have fun. Do amazing things. Be cool. Have fun. Be safe. Don't talk to strangers. That might make streaming difficult, but it is safety. Safety
Don't
first.
talk to strangers. You're a person I don't know in chat.
Banned!
I'm going to ignore you.
Banned. You did the 3200, 1600, 800, 4x8 relay, 4x4, and one track meet. Oh, that sounds awful. I remember I once was doing the 4x4, and they delayed our event for 2.5 hours due to thunderstorms.
Jeez.
So I stayed warmed up for 2.5 hours, which was miserable. We should keep a Coleman laugh count. That would be a good idea.
Because you can always hear it. No matter where he
I
is.
did do the 3200 a little bit. I generally got better, and I've only done a half marathon. I haven't done a full marathon. And I've pretty much gotten out of running. I still love running. I just don't have the time for it, unfortunately. I do want to get back into running, though. But the problem is that usually when I find myself thinking, like, that would be a good time for, like, a 3-hour run, I'm like, man, but I could stream instead. Usually I do that.
Usually. Every now and then. So, just so you know, when TJ isn't streaming either here or at home, and it's not between the hours of like 8 and 5 Pacific time when he'd be at work, he's just running.
I was running. You might not believe it, but I could run like the wind.
Okay, well, Patrick's on a mulligan to 5.
Nice, but it is an overgrown tomb kicking
Oh,
things
look.
off. Liliana.
Yep. Thank you, Coleman.
Oh, man. Dark Confidant coming down. That is a Thought Seer. We
Do you trade a walking ballista? Nope, no walking ballista. Ooh, take 3. How's that feel?
It feels
How's that
medium.
feel, Peter? That doesn't happen to you normally. How's it feel? and fetch.
That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that.
Do you count... I don't know what I was going to say.
Okay.
I just started talking and didn't actually think about it. I pulled a TJ.
Pull the TJ. Sometimes it'll get you. Welcome, Bruce Sterling. What a great name. So, we've got a Forest out. We've got 3 mana. Kitchen Finks coming down to the battlefield. Peter's going to jump up to 18. It's okay. He's developing decent pressure. The Thought-Knot Seer is going to be pretty big. The big thing right now is that while Patrick can attack into this, Kitchen Finks for the Matter Reshaper, that actually almost feels like a fair trade to me. I mean, is the 2-1 better than whatever you're going to get? That's an Ancient Grudge, Huntmaster of the Fells, Maelstrom Pulse, and a Tarmogoyf. I think I take the Maelstrom Pulse because it's the removal spell.
Yeah.
That is pretty accurate, Melvin.
That's almost an exact statement of how TJ works.
Sometimes. Sometimes I'm a half step ahead of myself, and sometimes I'm a half step behind. I'm like, okay, so I just said that, so where should we turn this? Let's take a left.
Here, I think you probably take the Maelstrom?
I think I'm also on the pulse. As for the creatures, your creatures can outclass theirs.
Yeah.
The Tarmogoyf is a 0/1. It could become larger. The Ancient Grudge, it's a Pithia right now.
It's a 1/2 right now. There's a land.
True. True. And with whatever you end up...
Hey, Bob gets another 3. 3-ball, corner pocket.
That is twice now. This is the most I've ever seen the Dark Confidants deal to Peter.
Yeah, Peter's taken 6 off his confidants this game, and that never happens.
I think that's more than I've seen him take in the last, month of seeing him play.
Yeah, I mean, taking that damage, very odd for Peter. Usually flips lands, maybe 1 mana spells, never 3, and never twice in a row.
That's awesome, Cyber. Track was a lot of fun. I wasn't super focused in it, unfortunately. I usually spent a good amount of time just trying to do random, I don't know, shenanigans is, I guess, a decent word for it.
Shenanigans!
That sounds exciting. Fulminator
look,
Mage, taking out the
Fulminate.
Eldrazi Temple. Patrick now very much on the back foot. Looking to trade off this Matter Reshaper pretty quick.
Everyone in the store would like to apologize for that high-pitched scream.
Yeah, that was very
What
loud.
was it? Something legitimately exciting? Or was
No.
it...
No, it was just...
It was in reference to It's Wednesday.
worth it?
Alright.
So we've got a...
We both just, paused. We're like, huh?
So, gaining some life on that side of the battlefield. We did get a land, which is what we were looking for.
And now there
Maybe not
is
enough.
a lovely expedition map in play.
Oh, goodness. 2 colon maps in the background counted up today. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Guess what day it is? That was the most chill thing I've ever heard, Brute Z. Okay, so 3 lands for Peter. Oh, looks like we might...
See ya.
I don't know, the expedition map is interesting here. Do you go for an Eldrazi? Okay, so we are going to Ancient Grudge that so we can use the Liliana.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not going to be until next turn.
He's just gonna
Flash.
search right now.
Yep. Especially didn't actually have him flash it back. He wasn't going to, I suppose.
He wasn't going to, yeah.
Because Patrick was
Go
going to do
get
that
an
in the middle.
Eldrazi Temple, okay.
It means that you can cast Reality Smashers. It's the one that actually gets you up to an extra mana next turn.
Well, here comes a Liliana, and it's gonna kill the Thought-Knot Seer. Sad day.
Yeah.
And Patrick's just gonna scoop it up.
Alright, so game 3. And honestly, this game wasn't going as well.
No, it was
He was on a
very
pretty
badly.
big-
He was on a mulligan to 5, which against Jund is very difficult to dig your way out of.
Yeah.
So,
And also, not knowing fully what was in his hand, it was possible that his hand was just dead. So, game 3, Patrick going to be on the play. Really good spot to be in a deck that can be casting potentially turn 2 Thought-Knot Seers. Otherwise, the deck is just kind of moves forward at a reasonable pace. It's going to be a solid overall.
was there a third one? I missed it.
I've actually learned to just completely tune out.
Tune out the loudness.
Yep.
Except for when it's that weird one.
What do you call a land that's not a basic land? A non-basic land.
wasteland, Carl.
We did plenty of cardio miles in 7th, 9th for basketball. Never broke 9. How is it possible to be that slow? Ooh, fun fact, there are 2 types of muscle. There's both basically fast and slow string muscle that are based around different types of activities. And one of them is based around their ability to sustain a particular action for a certain amount of time. And another is based around the amount of the potential energy it can expend in a very limited amount of time. So one is, you know, if you have X energy, can you maintain it with that muscle over a longer period of time? And one is about how much can you expel immediately. So it's kind of a 3 type. Fine. But for the purpose of this conversation, there's...
False. Black bear.
For the purpose of this. So, it's very possible that through all of your cardio, by maintaining your speed in all of this cardio, what you were doing is you were training your ability to maintain a particular level of some of that slower muscle that allows you to maintain that. So you really trained your body to maintain that 9-minute mile over a long period of time. And so it was helpful in basketball, in which you very rarely had to go for the full sprint across the full court. But what you needed to do, TJ loves semantics. Love semantics. The point is that they don't matter. Like, to give some context, my job is so based around pedantry. Like, my job is about having every single itty-bitty detail correct.
Mm-hmm.
I do that for 9 hours a day. Normally I get out of work and I'm okay with being a little bit sloppy with some other stuff. Like, my job is to literally look at every single number on every page and see if it's right. So, normally I just relax it after a certain point. Have a good one, Melvin. So anyway, it's very possible that you trained yourself to maintain that over a long period of time in basketball without actually training yourself to ever push beyond that one. And
I don't think Melvin was saying he was leaving. He just said, stop and give me 10 Muppet flails.
Oh, I thought you said, I just read the alright gentleman to say goodnight. 10 Muppet flails?
That was like 5.
Oh, was it 1, 2, 3? I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Where's this tournament at? At Geek Fortress in Snohomish, Washington. Welcome from Europe.
You don't have to leave, Melvin. You can stay.
No, you do. It's been said.
Ouch. That's so mean.
That's okay. Melvin's great. I spent most of my day basically just trying to incite Melvin with no context quotes from everyone was talking about Melvin and Vorthos on Twitter, so I just kept tagging people and saying that Melvin sucks.
That's a great quote. Ooh, get out of here, Dark Confidant. Nobody wants to see your face.
Done. Dismember. Which member? Messed that one up. Ooh, and we were just a little bit shy, though. Actually, I think that's Double Tower. Is that the mine?
That's a mine.
Okay, that is the mine.
That's the mine that looks like the tower.
That's it. So we do have the Matter Shaper coming on down. I guess it's going to be on Tarmogoyf blocking duty. do you 9 more?
Was that 5 or 10?
I'll tell you what.
Just 1.
For each sub, I'll do 1. We're at 149. Ooh. Can we get to 160? I'll do it. Ooh, thoughts on getting a colossal mustache?
That would be great if I could grow facial hair. That's not these.
We'll glue one onto you.
I'd rather not.
Stunlock with the sub. Thank you so much. I will stick to my word.
150.
Thank you very much for your support and being amazing.
You said 160.
I know, but that gets us up to 150, and that all in being true to my word of I would do one for each sub.
True.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Using the Twitch Prime, which you get 1 every month, using it here means a lot to me.
So attack with Matter Shaper, it gets blocked by the Goyf. That's a 3/4, and then just play Walking Ballista for 2.
Hooray!
Kill your Goyf.
Hooray!
Yeah!
That ain't shabby. It's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. Oh, look at that, Liliana.
Dome the Liliana for
Yep.
1? Nice.
Yeah, that doesn't work the way Peter wanted it to.
I don't know. I think he was fully prepared for that trade. I think the Walking Ballista was going to run away with this game regardless. Like, Walking Ballista is just a nightmare for Peter. 7 out of 10, solid B, 6.5. Okay, so I could get better.
Alright, we need a power plant.
That's a Thought-Knot Seer.
Thought-Knot Seer's pretty good too.
If we have a Thought-Knot Seer into potentially the Basilisk Collar next turn, could be a really big play. Didn't stick the finish. Alright.
Instead, we're going to get...
That's a lot of patience. Oh,
No, he can activate and then go...
Get the last
play
Tron
it and
piece.
have 5 mana.
No, he would have 4 mana.
There's a tower, and then, so 3, 4, 5.
Oh, he has 2 towers, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Lord of the
Yeah,
Rings.
Lord
in
of the
it.
Rings right now.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to hit Bryce.
I can run away.
That wasn't even for a sub. Someone
I
needs to
was
sub.
afraid for my life.
Someone needs to sub to earn that one.
I felt the wind on my head.
Did you?
Yes.
Man, I was getting into it. I've been working on my Muppet
Alright,
flails.
Smasher. 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 Smasher!
I'm subbing. I hit for 5 and we're going to go down to 14. This is going to be a pretty difficult card to contend with. Can I just say that 800 is the best race ever? Early Bird Gaming, thank you so much for the follow. It's a pleasure having you. I can tell you this. The 800 is simultaneously the best and the worst event ever. Now, here's a fun game to play. If you ever have someone who's brand new to track and they're a distance runner, tell them, oh, don't worry, it's only half a mile. It'll be hilarious.
It's only.
Because it's actually 2 400s. It's in no way half a mile. If you ran like that for a
look.
full mile, you'd die.
Drew a power plant.
That's just dumb.
Du-du-du.
That's
3,
real
6,
dumb.
7, 8, 9, 10. You can just cast a walk-in ballista for 5.
I can't believe he drew the power plant. That's so dumb.
Or Thought-Knot Seer seems decent too.
That's true. He has had that one in
It's
his
like,
hand
it's
for a
like
bit.
Dece Plus. Take the Terminate.
That seems reasonable. Check out that Olivia Voldaren, though.
Olivia's just like, don't look at me.
Oh, man. I think I would still take that because he can't activate it soon enough, and it's going to be a 3-3 in contention with a trampling, life-linking.
Yeah,
Reality
you're,
Smasher.
you're just taking the Terminate here.
I think I have to agree.
I mean, the trampling, yes, life-linking, death-touching is not going to be around for long because there's
That's a walking ballista, too.
a walking ballista that he can cast for 3.
Yeah, I might just go with that. I might not even
that seems
take the
like
lifelink.
Mega Dece. Seems all the Dece. Uber Dece.
Okay. You like running 12 different arts? Good. We had Anson Maddox here in the shop with us. He did all the mines, and he has said on record that he prefers when people run all 4 arts.
Cool.
Now,
I
that
don't
basically
do
means
that.
that I don't take that as meaning that that's the right way. I mean that taken as all ways are appreciated.
Sure. But having the mine that looks like a tower is just annoying.
I think as long as you clearly communicate with your opponent, then it's fine. Doing so to be deceptive is, I think, inherently wrong. Doing so because you like it and being clear with your opponents is, I think, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping them separated, not just like tossing the mine into the tower pile. Yeah, I think it's
Just
about.
over here.
I think it's all about just communication at that point. Having the different arts is fine as long as you do it in a reasonable way. 12 antiquities with all arts or bust. I hear you. That's awesome
I
stuff.
played 12 antiquities ones, but each of them have
That was
matching
a
art.
pithy needle.
Ooh.
Do you put that on the Raging Ravine? Or do you just name a Liliana? And a backup caller.
Name Olivia Voldaren.
And a backup caller.
just really
Actually, naming
spite
Olivia
him.
Voldaren isn't not a bad play.
Just really spite him.
It's unlikely that it's going to happen, but it means that it takes away one of the few outs that he has left.
Oh, he's just going to attack.
I mean, you do have lethal
He's
on
at
board.
9.
And you have the ability to actually activate this walking ballista for an
3, 4, 5,
additional
6, 7.
counter.
Yeah, you can
This has
activate
to
it
be
once.
Terminate.
Here's Abrupt Decay.
On what?
We know he has Abrupt Decay. If he drew a Terminate,
That puts you down to 5, and then you'd have to terminate the Reality Smasher and go down to 1.
mm-hmm. Boop. Well, I will activate it. And
then sweep the leg.
I will throw 4 at your face.
Sweep it.
You go to 5.
Interesting that we didn't see an equip first.
And then, looks
Terminate?
like he does have a Terminate.
Beautiful.
He drew a Terminate.
Top
Classic
deck, but then
Thoughtseize
you're in
rule.
top deck mode against a Walking Ballista and a Thought-Knot Seer.
There's no Walking Ballista.
I'm sorry, a Basilisk Collar and a Thought-Knot Seer.
Sure.
I guess it's the place to be.
But you can...
Not dead is
so
better
he
than
can,
dead.
He can play... So he discards Olivia Voldaren, and that is correct in my opinion, because he still has a Kitchen Finks in hand.
Does he? Now that's
That
actually
he
not
can-
bad.
That he can cast as a chump blocker for a couple turns.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's Pithing Needle.
He could also cast his Walking Ballista. I'm gonna guess Liliana.
What's the needle on? Lily again. Okay.
With only one Thought-Knot Seer, that strikes me as the right play.
Yep, so Kitchen Finks comes down. Up to 3 goes Peter.
Okay. I don't know. I don't throw everything at it but the Kitchen Finks.
That was good.
Do we still have this command? It's time for a throwback command. Yes, we do. Time to bring that one back. Alright, so I thought not Seer contending with this Lone Kitchen Finks. Anything with trample looks amazing. Peter back down to 1. Due to a Thoughtseize. Taking the collar. Double
Draws
land.
2 lands. Nice.
Why is that land tapped?
He used it in his upkeep to draw a card.
Oh,
He had no cards
gotcha.
in hand.
Man, that went poorly. Alright,
I
let's
will
gain some life.
block. This will come back.
You can go up to 3, but I'll go up to 20. Smashing.
Smashing.
I want to go watch the Wild Thornberries now. I want the
Wild
Wild...
Thornberries was great.
Oh, man.
It was a wonderful show.
I'll do this with my hands.
Ooh. He can activate his Raging Ravine and double block.
That was the most Rich Hagon-iest of voices.
So tight.
He actually can play the land and then drop the map to be able to activate the Seagate Wreckage, however.
Yep. Activate Seagate
And I think
Wreckage.
that's far more likely to be the play here. I don't know
Cast
why you're
map.
tapping so much, though.
Cast map. Tap another land that taps for 2. Activate Seagate Wreckage.
Sure.
Draw a card. Open a draw removal spell.
Make your life easy.
It's a Chalice of the Void.
Chalice doesn't look bad, though.
What do you put Chalice on? 2?
1.
2.
Why 2? Charmaglyph? Charmaglyph. 2. Yeah, 2. Do I have any 2-drops that I care about in the deck? Let's see. No. You're right. 2 it is. Plus it keeps all my Pithing Needles live.
You know it doesn't counter? Abrupt Decay.
That is funny. Luckily he's got a Thought-Knot Seer, which is about to crush this Kitchen Finks.
Yeah, but Raging Ravine is also going to get activated. It's going to trade for a Raging Ravine.
Oh true, then
and a
maybe I
Kitchen
don't even
Finks.
attack into it.
That's the thing.
Maybe I just... Do you crack the land? What land do you go for? Maybe... Does it have a Crucible? I don't think
I
so.
don't think
I don't think it has
plays
enough
Crucible.
big creatures to go for it.
He's playing essentially Huey's list from San Antonio.
Could you go for another Seagate Wreckage? I think it's probably just a one of. What time is it? It is 10:30 p.m. where we are.
What time is it? Summertime.
Liliana is unlikely. The Pithing Needle is currently naming Liliana,
It is.
which makes Liliana not too good.
Well, attack.
Let's see if he's willing to trade.
Activate the ravine.
Full trade
I will
across.
block.
Peter gets 1 card and Patrick is in top deck mode.
Yep.
But he's at 24, Peter's at 3.
Now, Huntmaster of the Fells would just be so solid.
Hilarious. Yes, we're on the West Coast. We're shooting from a shop called Geek Fortress, located in Snohomish, Washington.
Oh! It's the Huntmaster!
That's a good point. If Patrick has Ghost Quarter in the deck, he could have grabbed that and hit the Raging Ravine. Also,
We're on turns.
Also, you just called the Huntmaster.
I did. I'm good at that.
I called the Street Wraith earlier, but I think yours is better. Oh, is that an Endbringer? Brutal.
Oh, no! Peter was just
Can
starting
he
to
do
get
it?
back into the game.
Can he do it in so few turns, though? Yes. No.
No, he can't. I don't think he can.
He needs to draw hot. He needs to draw
so
real
he can
hot.
equip the Basilisk Collar.
He needs to draw real hot.
And pass the turn back. We're on to turn 3. He has 1 turn to try to
Don't
win.
show me a true draw here.
He has 1.
If Patrick does
Turn
have
to
a
try
Ghost
to
Quarter in the
win.
deck, though, I think he may have missed
Another
two.
Huntmaster. We have a draw, people. We have a draw.
Almost certainly.
This is a draw.
Almost
Oh,
certainly.
man.
Time to find out.
I don't think there's anything he can draw.
What if he draws a Mana Clash? Can't cast
Sure.
it. Good point.
Couldn't cast it. Well, draws a Matter Shaper.
Oh, Walking
Now
Ballista.
Draw
Walking
it.
Ballista would be the win.
Walking Ballista, I don't think he has enough. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's only for 6.
And
he
an
had
Endbringer?
That's true. Walking Ballista would do it, but he does not have that. So.
No. Alright, Matter Shaper. Check this out. Check this out. Endbringer, your own Matter Shaper.
He still doesn't have enough. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3.
But think
4,
of how
5.
cool the play is. But think of how cool the play is.
It is cool.
Think of how cool it is.
So he shoots the Huntmaster.
Can you imagine how cool it would be to hit your own Matter Shaper, flip that off the top, draw it, cast it, then bash face? Even if you get Peter down to 1, the respect that you'll get is totally worth it.
Yeah. I think I would have gone for it. Kitchen Finks. Sup. Go ahead. Kill the Huntmaster. Sure.
Got him.
You're at 26.
I think it counts as Peter surviving the underdog matchup by just surviving
yeah.
through this.
Oh yeah. Getting a draw out of this.
I don't think they even played at any points like particularly...
No, I think they both played very well.
It was pretty reasonably paced. He had outs to win. He did.
It was Walking Ballista on top.
Would have been the cool play.
Would have been the cool thing.
I was hoping you would use the Endbringer to hit your recently played Matter Shaper.
Yeah, that's what they were saying, but it was waste on top anyway.
Oh, it was
plus
a
you-
waste.
Oh,
Okay.
it looked like a Walking Ballista on top.
No, 4 down was the walking list.
Oh, never mind. We missed you going that deep.
Never mind.
Dang it, 4 down. Ah.
Ah.
Should have played it out for giggles. Should have. Oh well.
The thing is, once you get into turns, you start playing differently.
Yes. That game,
So.
Patrick would not have made some of those plays.
Correct.
Still, good matchup at the end there.
Yeah.
Let's head on up to the field. Let's do
You
do
need to
the.
the booth because we're at the field.
I'll race you there.
I've been waiting for you for a while.
How'd you
dude.
get here so fast?
I just moved.
Oh my goodness! You must be using that fast muscle. Whew. Welcome everybody. It's a pleasure having you here. A draw in the finals.
Who won?
between-
It was a draw.
Between Eldrazi, Tron, and Jund. Who's the real winner?
Jund.
Jund stealing a not loss.
Jund getting through by not losing is a win.
Are all Jund players rude? Absolutely not.
Peter's one of the nicest guys I know.
Peter, so let's take a quick moment here. Quick caveat. To every player at the Geek Fortress stream, thank you so much for being willing to be on stream. It's amazing having your support. This stream cannot exist without you, and it is just an incredible experience getting to do this stream with all of your help and support. But Peter is someone who is an incredibly big-hearted, kind person who is wonderfully soft-spoken, but during every game is incredibly genuine about how he is. He will tell you the truth, he won't angle shoot you, and he's there to have a good time. He is so much fun to play with. He's incredibly talented at the game and willing to help you improve and willing to ask advice from people when he recognizes that you have things that he could absolutely learn from.
Bye, Glorious Visionary. Enjoy.
How do we get the lighting right? Let me show you. We're going to break character here for a moment.
Oh, God. Ah!
Studio lighting.
It's a studio light. Look at that. Whoa. Totally. Yeah. Ooh.
We have studio lighting. We also have overhead lighting. Oh man, that must have been super disorienting.
Yeah, that had to be like super weird for
What do we
everybody.
use for our scoreboard for stream? I would recommend Scoreboard Assistant because that's what we used before.
what we used
Now
to
we
use.
actually have a private server which basically has its own web page that connects directly to OBS.
David Bradbury.
David Bradbury.
Thanks, David, wherever you... Well, I know where you are, but whenever you are, because you're ahead of us in time. Stuff.
Yeah, but we use studio lighting to get the lighting consistent. We used to not, and then we ended up getting this. But David basically built a website within a private server to connect to...
And at the bottom it says... is it still there?
Yep, David is a pretty cool guy.
Yep. Oh, David.
Part of the website is just that it says David's a pretty cool guy. Fact.
Down in the bottom corner.
I read it on the internet. It's definitely true.
Of course.
We need some silver players. Oh, we need some sliver players. I always do that. We need some sliver players. We actually have had them in the past.
Yeah.
Rolando used to.
Rolando
be.
used to play slivers.
We can definitely try and convince him to come back in the
We're
future.
definitely not in the right spot here.
Sorry, I messed
Just
it up.
slightly.
Oh well.
And we're close.
David's asleep. I imagine so. I talked to him a little bit earlier today. Actually, it was nice getting to speak.
Did you
with him
figure
again.
out the puzzle today?
No,
It
I
was
didn't
really
even look
easy.
at it. Did not even look at it.
It was really easy.
I bet. All right, everybody. We will not be streaming next Saturday. It is the pre-release, which means we won't have Modern, but I will be celebrating my birthday that day. So, please do say hi to me on Twitter. I might stream from home a little bit before I figure out what I'll be doing with
You're
that
not
day.
pre-releasing?
I might pre-release as well. I don't know. I'll be doing a little bit of everything. It's my birthday. I specifically don't really plan my birthdays.
That's good.
So, I'm just going to...
So you're not doing anything that night?
I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to kind of see where it goes.
You're not doing anything that night, TJ?
I might. There's a decent chance I'll go out. There's a decent chance. We often do on Saturdays. Birthday beats. Mind yours is April 22nd. We have the same birthday. That is also my birthday. Happy birthday to you on April 22nd. It's a good day, is it not?
Yeah.
So everybody stick with us. We're going to host you on over to someone else. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Who's out there? Who are we hosting?
We are going to host someone who I find out now. But thank you all for being here. Friday will continue. Friday will still be a stream.
Friday is still happening.
Okay. So, I gotta find who is live right now. Yep, it's an Earth Day birthday. That's never happened to me.
Holy Dive is still on?
Holy Diva is still on. Ooh, we could bomb Marshall.
We could
He didn't know
drop
who
the
we
guys
were.
on the Marshall.
Marshall doesn't know who we are.
Marshall Sutcliffey.
Nah, hold on. Holy Diva's on. That's pretty cool. J-Tron is on.
The J-Tron is on.
It was smooth, was it not? Done. Okay, we're gonna host on over to one of our mods.
Ooh.
Everybody, bear with us. Please stick with me here. One of our mods is named Mostly Lost. Previously, they were a mod named Renegade Coaster.
Yep.
They are an awesome person. They currently have one person in their stream. I think we can fix that, can we not?
I think we can.
I think we can hand on over there, bombard them with some follows.
I think
They're
we
playing
should.
Ad Nauseum, a deck which is actually particularly skillful to play.
That's a fun one.
Mostly Lost, cool person. We've never hosted them before. Please make this a big host. Let's shower them with some love. They make this stream part of what it is. They're an incredible mod for us. And
Dude, you need
I
to play
cannot
that host?
I cannot wait to surprise them with this host. So please stick with us. Please have some fun with us, and I will see you all there. But, do you have any thoughts for the evening?
No. I think that today went pretty well. Jund still does seem good, but I think that the Jund Death Shadow deck is just really a better version. I know that Peter loves his Jund X, who's going to play what he plays.
Yeah.
But, yep.
Alright, so from all of us here at Geek Fortress, whether it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, thank you for being here, and just remember that you're a Fortnite. We'll see you next time, Friday at 7:30 for some Legacy. And until then, let's support one of the mods of this stream for all that they do. We'll see you there.
Yeah.